Welcome to Wife Cheating Story. I hope you have an enjoyable and relaxing time listening. Let's get started.
I only do this for you, baby, not him. Sam's world shattered when he returned home early on their 25th anniversary, orchids in hand, and found his wife, Dana, pinned against their dining table by a man he'd once refused to trust. Her words echoed in his ears as he stood frozen in disbelief, the weight of betrayal sinking like a blade into his chest. The sheriff, known for his unshakable resolve, suddenly faced the deepest betrayal of all in his own home. What follows is a tale of justice, revenge, and renewal, as Sam refuses to crumble under the weight of deceit. Can he rise above the ashes of his marriage, or will the darkness consume him? Dear listeners, before we dive into today's story, let us know your location in the comments section. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, let's begin the story. Chapter 1. The scorching sun slanted through high windows as Sam, sheriff of Hillside County in California, swung open the heavy oak door to his private office. He was a tall, broad-shouldered man in his late 40s, exuding quiet authority. Fine lines around his steely gray eyes hinted at years of wrestling with criminals, politicians, and heartbreak alike. Today, however, Sam's mood was distinctly lighter. He'd timed the shift changes at the station so he could leave early, no official announcements, just a subtle arrangement of duties. For 25 years, he had been married to Dana. Their silver anniversary was tonight, a milestone he'd long believed would be a testament to their unwavering bond, a union, he thought, built on trust. He took a quick look at a small framed photo on his desk. Sam in uniform, Dana in a summer dress, and his two sons, Marcus and Willow, both beaming at some forgotten barbecue. Sam felt a tug of nostalgia. The photograph was nearly 10 years old. I'm sure we've got plenty more memories ahead, he told himself silently. Today is just the next big milestone. 3 knocks on his slightly ajar door interrupted him. Deputy Martha Reynolds, one of his most trusted subordinates, peeked in. "Sheriff," she said softly, "are you sure about leaving an hour early?" "I can hold the fort, but we've got that budget meeting. Let the county commissioners wait," Sam replied with a cool confidence. "I have a more pressing engagement." Martha gave a good-natured smirk. Everyone at the station knew Sam was pulling a subtle power move. He rarely, if ever, left tasks incomplete. But an anniversary was an exception. One that, in Sam's eyes, was more important than the usual bureaucratic tangles. "Understood. Happy anniversary, Sheriff." He thanked her and shut down his computer. Another glance at the photo. "Tonight's about showing Dana I still remember the little things." For a moment, a warm surge of affection flooded him. He thought of Dana's laugh, the gentle way she used to greet him at the door. She'd asked him not to fuss about dinner reservations. "Maybe we'll do something at the house instead," she'd said vaguely a week ago. Sam was never a fool. He suspected some sort of surprise. So he planned to surprise her first. A short while later, Sam stepped into Winston's floral shop, a cozy place brimming with the heady scent of roses. He selected white orchids, Dana's favorite, along with a small arrangement of lilies for color. The florist wrapped them meticulously in crisp cellophane, tying a silver ribbon around the stems. He set the bouquet in the passenger seat of his county-issued SUV, next to a small, neatly wrapped gift box. Inside that box lay an elegant silver bracelet with a single delicate diamond clasp, an understated but meaningful token. Dana rarely wore flashy jewelry, so Sam spent weeks picking something tasteful and symbolic. Silver for 25 years, he mused. A diamond to reflect how we've weathered storms. He took a moment to glance at the side mirror, smoothing the collar of his crisp uniform. "Tonight I'll change into civilian clothes when I get home," Sam thought. Dana says she likes me better out of uniform, ironically enough. He smirked, remembering how she used to tease him about marrying a cop. She would say, "I love that you protect us all, but I prefer the man behind the badge." Shifting the SUV into drive, Sam felt a flicker of excitement. Despite the years, the minor spats, the long nights, and near misses in his job, he genuinely believed their love was unshakable. This is going to be a good night. The late afternoon sun gilded the edges of sprawling oak trees that lined the quiet suburban street. His house, a modest but well-kept two-story home, appeared peaceful in the golden light. Yet something felt off. A sleek, unfamiliar sedan, metallic gray, tinted windows was parked in the driveway next to Dana's Honda. Sam frowned. His older son, Marcus, currently stationed in another city for some job training, was unlikely to pop by unannounced. Willow, a younger man finishing up police academy training, had no reason to come either, and neither son drove a car like that. Sam's pulse quickened. He extinguished a stray flicker of paranoia. Might be a friend from her community club or that traveling salesman who calls on the weekends. Dana had a wide circle, from her painting class to her volunteer group. People sometimes dropped by. But on our anniversary? Caution spiked, the professional in him scanning for clues. The sedan's license plates were from out of county. He memorized the partial plate. 7 NLC. Sam lifted the bouquet, stepping out, shoulders tense. "No big deal," he muttered under his breath. Yet a sharper sense of dread twisted in his gut. He realized how quiet the street was. Usually neighbors walked dogs or kids played around. Now the entire block seemed to hush, as if bracing for a revelation. Front door unlocked, Sam's brow furrowed. Dana was meticulous about locking up. He slipped inside, heart pounding. The hallway was dim, lights off except for a small lamp in the living room. The house smelled faintly of expensive cologne, a brand he didn't recognize. Then he heard it. Hushed voices, muffled laughter from the dining room. Dana's soft giggle. She must be entertaining a friend. Another voice, deeper and masculine. Definitely not Marcus or Willow. Sam's stomach knotted. He set the bouquet carefully on the side table, every sense on high alert. He took quiet steps, badge reflecting in the mirror, tension in each footfall. The conversation became clearer. "Baby, you sure he's not coming home yet?" "He never leaves early." "We're safe." Dana's words, laced with a flirtatious laugh. Sam's jaw clenched. "Safe? Safe from what?" He edged forward, glimpsing movement through the slightly ajar dining room door. The overhead chandelier was off, but a table lamp cast a soft glow on the polished dining table where he saw something that turned his world inside out. Dana, partially undressed, pinned against the table by a tall, broad-shouldered man. Sam recognized the face instantly. Elliot Stryker, an influential figure on the city council. He'd once tried to persuade Sam to look the other way on certain budget anomalies. Sam had refused, had found Elliot's brand of politics distasteful. Now that same Elliot had his hands all over Dana. She clung to him in a posture that was intimate. More than intimate, actually. The sight shot through Sam like ice water in his veins. For a surreal second, Sam's mind refused to process the betrayal. Dana with Elliot? In our own home? On our goddamn anniversary? Dana moaned something that sounded like Sam's name, but twisted. Elliot snickered. "You ever done it like this with him?" She whispered back softer. Yet Sam caught it. "I only do this for you, baby, not him." That phrase, about a special position that used to be ours. Rage, humiliation, heartbreak. Sam's fists clenched. A red haze threatened to swamp his vision. The lawman in him demanded calm. The betrayed husband seethed for violence. Should I draw my gun? Arrest him? He took a trembling breath, trying to keep from snapping. Nothing in his life had prepared him for the raw, visceral shock of seeing his wife in another man's arms. Dana looked up then, eyes wide. She froze. Elliot hastily tried to tug his pants up, stumbling. In that split second, Sam glimpsed utter panic on Dana's face, but it morphed into an almost dismissive sneer. "Sam," she exclaimed, breath still ragged. "What are you doing home so early?" It was so banal, so everyday a question, Sam nearly laughed in disbelief. "I'm your husband. I caught you cheating. That's the best you've got?" "I left work," he managed, voice tight. He could feel himself trembling, the controlled fury beneath. Elliot coughed, stepping away from Dana. "Sheriff, let me explain." Sam's glare was enough to silence him. He glanced at the half-dressed state of Dana, her bra strap hanging off one shoulder, hair disheveled. The stench of betrayal was suffocating. "What the hell's going on, Dana?" Sam demanded, tone low, menacing. "It's not—" She swallowed, flicking an irritated glance at Elliot as if he were to blame. "You're too early. This is nothing, Sam. Don't blow it out of proportion. It's just, we had a drink." He let out a humorless laugh. "A drink?" "Right. Let me guess. You tripped, your clothes fell off, and he caught you with his—" Sam's voice shook with cold anger. "You think I'm that much of a fool?" Elliot tried to speak again. "Look, Sheriff, we're both adults." This was a moment of weakness. "Shut up!" Sam growled. He took a single step forward, controlling the urge to slam Elliot's face into the table. "Calm yourself," the lawman in him repeated. Dana's eyes flashed with indignation. "Sam, can you not make a scene? This is our house." "Our neighbors." "Neighbors," Sam repeated with a bitter snort. "You're worried about the neighbors now?" He felt a fierce wave of betrayal, heartbreak slicing deeper than any bullet wound he'd encountered on duty. 25 years. He'd never suspected her loyalty wavered. But this posture, the smugness. Has she been doing this for a while? He needed to leave. If he stayed, he might do something that'd land him behind bars. And ironically, he was the local law. Sam pivoted, turning on his heel. Dana shrieked after him, "Sam, we can talk this through. You can't just leave. This doesn't have to be the end if you're—" He refused to hear more. Striding down the hall, he saw the bouquet, still sitting there, an ugly reminder of his naive hope. On impulse, Sam snatched it up and tossed it into the trash bin by the door. The gift box remained in his SUV. He suddenly felt sick at the idea of giving her anything but contempt. "Sam!" Dana's voice echoing behind him. "Don't do anything rash. This is just a stupid mistake." He said nothing, stepping out into the warm evening air, slamming the door behind him, leaving Dana and Elliot half naked in the dining room. The betrayal etched forever in his memory. 15 minutes later, Sam found himself driving aimlessly. He bypassed the main highway leading back to the station, not wanting to face anyone. He needed solitude. Finally, he pulled into a small roadside motel, a place he'd once told his deputies to watch for petty crime. The irony of staying there made him grimace, but anonymity was crucial tonight. The motel clerk, half drowsy, didn't recognize him in partial uniform, plus Sam wore no nameplate, no outward sign of rank. He paid in cash, gave no ID. The clerk shrugged and handed him a key. In a musty room with flickering fluorescent lights, Sam sat on the edge of a squeaky bed, face buried in his hands. God, my wife is cheating on me. Has she done it before? For how long? He replayed the moment he saw them. That position, that expression on Dana's face, pleasure, not guilt. and the scornful way she demanded he not overreact. Overreact? You destroyed my trust, Dana? He clenched his fists, drawing a shaky breath. A swirl of humiliating questions hammered him. Am I not enough? Did I ever see signs? Could I have predicted this? Then anger took command, overshadowing the heartbreak. She thinks I'll just roll over? Sam's eyes narrowed. He'd faced criminals, liars, corruption. He was a determined man. If she believed he'd meekly let this pass, she didn't know him at all. Night pressed in, the lamp overhead sputtering. Sam pulled out his phone, scanning missed messages. Sure enough, a text from Dana. Dana, 7:52 p.m. You can come home if you calm down. Let's be adults, Sam. Don't make this bigger than it is. He stared at the text, rage simmering. So flippant, so sure of herself. Another text arrived. Dana, 8:10 p.m. This can be between us if you want. Our marriage doesn't have to end. Elliot is just a fling. Sam almost crushed his phone in his grip. She wanted him to just forget? Admit you cheated? Claim it's meaningless and I should come home and pretend? Did she truly think he was that spineless? His phone buzzed again, a call from Natalie. He exhaled, pressing answer. Sheriff, you asked me to be on standby if you needed immediate advice. Everything okay? Her voice was calm but concerned. Sam inhaled slowly. No. My wife's been screwing some councilman behind my back. A stunned pause. Oh, Sam, I'm sorry, that's tough. Are you safe? I'm at a motel, paying cash. She doesn't know which one. I want no trace on the credit card. I need time to think, then we move forward with divorce. But I want it done right, no mistakes. She can't get a dime more than legally necessary. Natalie's tone sharpened. You have a prenuptial, correct? We can leverage that. Also gather all financial documents you can tomorrow. Move your personal assets. If she's stepping out on you, we have grounds to deny spousal support. Sam nodded, even though she couldn't see him. Yes, I'll do it. No mercy. We'll do everything by the book, Sam said, but I want her cut off from as many resources as possible. She humiliated me in my own home. Natalie agreed. Let's start tomorrow. Freeze joint accounts if feasible, or at least take half. Cancel shared credit lines. Let her see how it feels to rely on that fling. Meanwhile, we'll get you out of this with minimal damage. A surge of grim satisfaction coursed through Sam. Yes, let her suffer. She needs to see I won't be her doormat. When he finally ended the call, Sam noticed multiple missed calls from Dana. He refused to answer any. One final text glowed on the screen. Willow, 8:30 p.m. Dad, Mom's freaking out. She says you can come home now. She's cleaned up. She keeps repeating, it was nothing. I don't get what's happening. Want to explain? She's using Willow to reel me back. Sam ground his teeth. Nothing. It was nothing, huh? He typed a quick, terse reply. Ask your mother the truth. I'm not coming home. Then powered off the phone. Staring at the dingy motel ceiling, he let the realization settle. I can never unsee that moment. My marriage, my illusions shattered. But heartbreak gave way to cold determination. She's going to learn what it means to betray Sam, the sheriff. I'll show no mercy. Outside, a neon motel sign flickered. Inside, Sam mapped out the first steps of vengeance. He didn't feel guilt or hesitation, only the unstoppable will to rectify this betrayal, to ensure that Dana wouldn't walk away unscathed. Hell with you, Dana, he whispered to the empty room, voice trembling with wrath. You made your bed. Now I'll make you lie in it alone. Chapter 2. Morning crept over the threadbare motel curtains, slanting golden stripes across Sam's stern features. He had barely slept. Instead, he spent the night flipping between anger and sorrow, reliving the humiliating images. But now, as the sun rose, he hardened his resolve. He was done feeling powerless. He splashed cold water on his face in the motel's cramped bathroom. Observing his reflection in the grimy mirror, he saw a man burning with purpose. "No more illusions," he growled under his breath. Outside, traffic hummed lightly. Sam carefully returned the room key, avoiding idle chat with the clerk. He left a crisp bill on the counter, then stepped back into his SUV. The day's plan was clear. Meet with Natalie first, then proceed with lethal precision to protect his assets. Natalie's law firm stood in a sleek downtown high-rise, the morning bustle echoing in the lobby. Sam marched into her corner office, ignoring curious glances from staff. He'd taken off his badge and uniform shirt, wearing a plain black T-shirt beneath. No official capacity, he was here purely as a betrayed husband. Natalie rose from behind her desk, a tall woman in a sharp business suit. "Sam, come in." She beckoned him to a plush chair, offering a sympathetic smile. "I have coffee or tea?" "Just water," Sam said curtly. He settled, scanning the framed diplomas on her wall. Harvard Law. She was reputedly a shark in negotiations. "That's what I need now," Sam thought. Natalie handed him a glass. "First, I'm sorry you're going through this. Cheating is painful. I'm not here for sympathy. Let's get the job done." She nodded. "Fair enough." Opening a leather-bound folder, she retrieved several blank forms and a typed outline. "We have your prenuptial from 25 years ago. You updated it around year 10, right? That's crucial. If Dana's the adulterer, the document states she forfeits spousal maintenance beyond a limited sum." Sam nodded. "Yes, I made sure we had that clause." She signed it. She was so sure we'd never separate, I guess she didn't mind. Good. The next step is analyzing your joint accounts, mortgage, anything that ties you. We'll shift half or more into accounts solely in your name. Then you'll freeze or close the joint credit lines. That ensures minimal financial exposure. Sam tapped his foot impatiently. Time is critical. She might guess what I'm doing and try to drain funds. Natalie raised a brow. Do it as soon as we finish here. Also, gather tangible evidence of her affair. If we show proof that it was ongoing, that helps in property division. More reason the judge will side with you. I caught them in the act, Sam said icily, but I'll see if I can get more details. I'm not sure how long it's been going on. Natalie paused. One question. Do you want to file for divorce with a fault-based ground citing adultery? It's more dramatic, but it might expedite your advantage. Sam exhaled. Yes, absolutely. I want the court to see her as the cheater she is. Natalie scribbled notes. We'll do it. Let's also consider a private investigator. If there's any chance she's had multiple lovers, that can bolster your case. A faint smirk tugged Sam's lips. Dana with multiple men? Wouldn't surprise me now. Hire whoever you need. Money's no object. Let's bury her in evidence. Less than an hour later, Sam strode into the local hillside bank. He approached a senior teller who recognized him, eyes widening. Sheriff, everything okay? He gave a curt nod. I need to speak privately with your manager regarding my accounts. Minutes later, he was in a small glass-walled office with the bank manager, Ms. Lopez, a middle-aged woman in a crisp blouse. I'd like to withdraw half of all joint holdings under Sam and Dana's name. I have the prenuptial here, plus my personal ID, Sam stated. Lopez frowned delicately. Is your wife aware? I have legal counsel, he said, sliding over Natalie's business card, and the prenuptial that allows me to do so. I prefer you not contact my wife about this until after the transaction is complete. Understand? She swallowed, nodding. Of course, sir. We can handle it discreetly. While she clacked away on a computer, Sam's gaze drifted out to the bank's open floor. He spotted a large promotional poster of a happy couple opening a savings account. What a joke. His jaw tightened. 20 minutes later, Ms. Lopez handed him documents to sign. A substantial sum was quietly moved to a new account in Sam's name. He also canceled all joint credit cards, instructing them to mail separate notifications. Thank you, Sam said, a razor edge to his politeness. If Dana calls, politely refer her to these documents. He left, adrenaline thrumming in his veins. She wanted to humiliate me. Let's see how she fares when her credit cards get declined. Exiting the bank, Sam found someone waiting near his SUV, Willow. The young man, just turned 21, wore the crisp tan pants and black polo of a police academy cadet. His expression twisted with concern. Dad, I was at the station earlier. They said you took personal leave. Mom's been calling me nonstop, crying. Sam's eyes hardened. Willow, I'm busy. Willow stepped closer, voice low so passers-by wouldn't overhear. She told me you walked in on some misunderstanding last night. She's freaking out, saying you're overreacting. I just want to know the truth. Sam could barely contain his rage. Dana spins it as a misunderstanding? He forced a measured tone. It wasn't a misunderstanding. I caught her with Elliot Stryker, half naked, in our dining room on our anniversary. Willow's face paled. Oh, God. Mom said something about a friend dropping by, and you jumped to conclusions. Stop! Sam cut him off. You trust me or not? I have no reason to lie. I saw them. No guesswork needed. If you want details, it was basically them screwing right on our table. Willow flinched, looking nauseated. Dad? She's my mom. Maybe it was a one-time. Sam snorted. 1 time or 10 times, betrayal is betrayal, and she's trying to downplay it. Don't get caught in her lies, Willow. The younger man rubbed his temples, clearly torn. I can't believe this. But you're sure? I'm sure, Sam snapped. And if you want to keep a relationship with me, don't try to defend her. I'm divorcing her. She's lost my respect. That's final. Willow swallowed hard. Dad, I get you're hurt. But can we talk this out like a family? Maybe counseling? Sam's glare was ice. She wants me to pretend or come home and act like it never happened. That's not who I am. Willow hesitated, stepping aside to let Sam climb into his SUV. So you're just going to blow up the family? She blew it up. Sam's voice was rough. I'm just cleaning up the debris. Now, excuse me, I have more important tasks. He started the engine, leaving Willow pale and speechless on the sidewalk. The betrayal cut deeper, seeing his own son struggling to side with him. But Sam wouldn't yield. He wouldn't be manipulated by tears or pleas. In the afternoon, Sam returned to his half-empty rental house, an unmarked location he'd set up as a temporary base. He needed more evidence to ensure no legal loopholes gave Dana an advantage. He rummaged through boxes, retrieving old phone bills, scanning for suspicious calls. I should have done this earlier, he thought bitterly. He typed Elliot's phone number into a personal search. The man was wealthy, politically connected. Wouldn't surprise me if he funded Dana's lavish lunches or something. Sam's intuition burned. Maybe they used my money for their meetups. He slapped a file onto the table, mind spinning with unstoppable momentum. Then his phone buzzed. The new private number he'd set up. Natalie, probably. He answered, Sam, just a heads up. My assistant found possible real estate records linking Elliot to a property in Glendale. Dana's name isn't on it, but we suspect he used it for discreet visits. If your wife's been traveling there, that's more evidence. Sam's heart hammered. So they might have a love nest. Perfect. We might surveil it. Let's get that investigator on it. Already done, Natalie replied. Also, your wife tried to call my office. She demanded to see the prenuptial. I politely refused. She threatened to get her own lawyer. Sam smirked. Good. Let her flail. I want her cornered. No easy exit. He hung up, fists tight. Dana can gather her own lawyer for all I care. She'll see how powerless she is once I'm through. Late evening, Sam found himself alone again in the small living room of the rental. The overhead light flickered. He'd thrown on a worn T-shirt, stared at the dusty walls, letting bitterness swirl. Instead of illusions, he confronted raw facts. Dana had broken vows. She expected him to swallow his pride, keep it quiet. He refused, launching an offensive to ensure she'd regret choosing Elliot. But amid that, memories intruded. Dana's laughter on their wedding day, the births of Marcus and Willow, the nights she'd comforted Sam after tough calls. Was any of that real? Or did she simply grow bored with me? He drained half a bottle of water, his expression bleak. He wouldn't let sentiment derail his plan. She killed those memories. Not me, he muttered. Focus on the future. He flicked on the TV for background noise, a late-night show, comedic banter. Sam barely listened, glancing at the small gift box that now lay on a side table. The silver bracelet he'd planned to give Dana. What a joke. In a flash of anger, he nearly tossed it into the trash. But a cunning idea surfaced. Maybe I can repurpose it or keep it as a reminder, or send it to her shredded. The thought twisted into a dark satisfaction. In the end, he simply stashed it in a drawer. I'll decide later. Close to midnight, his phone buzzed again Marcus's name. Sam debated ignoring it, but a part of him wanted to see which side Marcus truly stood on. He answered with a gruff, "Yes?" "Dad," came Marcus's voice, subdued. "Mom's crying. Says you froze the accounts. Her card got declined at the grocery store. She's freaking out about how she'll pay bills." Sam's lips curled in a faint sneer. "She can ask her lover for money. That's not my problem." "Dad, come on. This is harsh. She's still your wife legally." "She lost the right to my finances the moment she let Elliot into our house," Sam snapped. "I'm within my legal bounds thanks to the prenup." "Let me guess. She left out that part?" A beat of silence. Marcus exhaled. "She claims you're punishing her over a single slip, that you're making it bigger than it is. Dad, I don't want to take sides, but can't we talk like a family?" "Family," Sam barked a humorless laugh. "The family ended the moment I caught her. She humiliated me, and I owe her nothing. She's using you to get pity." Marcus's tone turned defensive. "Mom said you might say that. She told me to remind you about your vows, how she stood by you when you were nearly killed on duty. Doesn't that loyalty count for anything?" Sam's voice dropped to a lethal hiss. "Loyalty? She spat on loyalty. Don't lecture me, son. If you can't see your mother's betrayal for what it is, then maybe you're as blind as she thinks I was." A strangled pause. "So, you're determined to ruin her financially?" "She ruined herself," Sam retorted. "I'm just ensuring she can't worm out of consequences." Marcus sighed. "I see. Fine. Then I guess we have nothing more to say." "Not as long as you keep parroting her lines," Sam said flatly. Marcus hung up. Sam stared at the phone. Pain flickered behind his wrath. "My own son's caught between us. This is the real tragedy." But he refused to yield. "They'll come around once they see the truth. Or maybe they won't. But I won't be a doormat." Over the next few days, Sam quietly engaged a private investigator, Greg Monroe, someone with ex-cop experience. Greg was discreet, sharp-eyed, and not afraid of crossing lines if needed. "Sheriff, I'll tail Elliot. We'll see if there's a pattern of hooking up with your wife or other women. Photos, times, everything. We'll get you a full file." Sam nodded. He's cunning. So, watch your back. Also, check any property in Glendale Natalie's lead. If Dana's been there with him, I want proof. Greg smirked. Consider it done. Payment up front? Half now, half on completion. Don't worry about legality too much. Just stay off the radar. I want every damning detail. Meanwhile, Dana attempted a new tactic, swarming Sam with calls and texts, shifting from anger to pleading. He read one text that dripped with manipulation. Sam, we had 25 years. Don't destroy everything over one mistake. I never meant to hurt you. Let's do therapy or find a compromise. I still love you. He stared at it, disgust twisting his face. Love me? Then why Elliot? Another message claimed, I only turned to him because I was lonely. Your job consumed you. I was neglected. Sam nearly crushed his phone. She dares blame me? She thinks that justifies screwing a councilman? He typed a single reply. Your excuses mean nothing. My lawyer will handle communication now. Then blocked her number. One evening, as Sam sat at the rental flipping through bank statements, Greg Monroe called. His voice was triumphant. Sheriff, we got them. Photos. She met Elliot at that Glendale condo. They spent hours. She's definitely not a one-time fling given how comfortable they look. I have timestamps over 2 months. Sam's heart hammered. So she's lied about it being a single mistake? Perfect. Email everything to Natalie. Will do. Also, I overheard them discussing finances. Elliot told her not to worry, that he'd cover her bills, even mentioned possibly quieting you. Something about a Senate connection. They're plotting damage control. Sam chuckled darkly. They can try. I'm not backing down. He ended the call, a savage satisfaction pulsing within. Now I have concrete proof. She can't spin it as a slip. He couldn't wait to serve her those divorce papers, watch her realize she was cornered. The next steps would be critical. Finalizing the legal blow, ensuring no reconciliation or pity. Sam's mind flicked to the confrontation sure to come. I'll be ready, and I'll make her regret underestimating me. Chapter 3, a crisp Monday morning found Sam striding into the county courthouse with Natalie at his side. The echo of their footsteps on polished marble floors set a tense mood. Their target, the clerk of court's office, to officially file a petition for divorce on the grounds of adultery. Natalie was immaculate in a tailored navy suit, hair pinned up. Sam wore plain clothes, no uniform, no badge. This was a personal mission. Approaching the clerk's desk, Sam handed over the thick sheaf of papers. The clerk, a polite woman in her 50s, scanned them, glancing at Sam's name. Sheriff Halston. Oh, I see. We'll get these filed. Usually the other party is served within 3 business days. Is that your preference? Actually, Natalie interjected, we have a private process server who will do it sooner. We'll handle the formalities. Just record the date and stamp it. The clerk nodded. All right. Best of luck, sir. Sam offered a tight nod. Luck? I'll make my own. He felt a surge of finality. The moment the stamp went thunk on the documents, his marriage was effectively in the coffin. Let Dana see the official seal. Let her realize I'm not bluffing. Outside, the sky was a brilliant blue, an ironic contrast to the storm swirling in Sam's life. He walked with Natalie across the courthouse steps. We can have her served at home or... Natalie began. Sam's lips curved into a cold smile. No, at her precious volunteer group in front of everyone. Let her feel a shred of humiliation. Natalie's brow rose. That's harsh, but if it's what you want, it is. While leaving, they almost bumped into Councilman Rogers, an older colleague of Elliot's. The man recognized Sam, giving a forced smile. Sheriff, I've been meaning to speak to you about the new policing bill. Perhaps we can schedule... Sam's voice was clipped. Not now. Busy. Rogers cleared his throat, lowering his voice conspiratorially. Look, I heard rumors about you and Elliot being at odds. Let me just say, we on the council value your position. Sam pinned him with an icy stare. He stepped on personal territory. Council politics won't shield him, understood? Rogers paled. I see. Have a good day, Sheriff. He hurried off, likely to warn Elliot. Sam felt no regrets. Let them scramble. Natalie shook her head. You're making waves in that sphere. He might retaliate. Let him try. Sam growled. I have enough evidence and a strong legal stance. If he wants war, I'll give him war. That afternoon, Sam orchestrated the service of divorce papers with almost military strategy. He discovered Dana had a Tuesday volunteer shift at the local community center from 10 a.m. to noon. Perfect. He briefed a private server, a wiry man named Kellen. Go to the community center, find Dana Halston, hand her the envelope, make sure people see it's official, then quietly leave. Kellen nodded, amused at Sam's fierce expression. She might get upset. That's the point, Sam said flatly. By 10:15 a.m. next day, Sam sat in his SUV 2 blocks away. He refused to remain idle. He wanted to watch from a distance, an almost voyeuristic need to see the meltdown. He had binoculars, though he wasn't sure if it was wise. No, I'll rely on Kellen's text. At 10:27, a text from Kellen. Served. She freaked out, tried refusing it, but everyone saw. Mission accomplished. Sam allowed himself a satisfied exhale. Now the clock starts. By noon, Sam's phone was ablaze with calls he'd blocked Dana, but Willow and Marcus lit up his line. Even some mutual friends tried to contact him, presumably because Dana was sobbing about being served in public. He ignored them all. No more negotiating. She can talk to me through lawyers. Then an unknown number beeped. Possibly Elliot? Sam answered with clipped silence. Sheriff, came Elliot's voice, terse and angry. What the hell are you playing at? Serving Dana in front of a bunch of old ladies? That's humiliating. Sam's lips curled. Good. Next question. She's the mother of your children. Show some respect, Elliot spat. If you keep pushing, shut it, Elliot, Sam snarled. You had the nerve to defile my home. Now you talk about respect? You messed with the wrong man. A heated pause. Elliot hissed. Fine. Then see you in court. I'll ensure Dana gets proper representation. She's not alone. Sam smiled coldly. Bring it on. Then he hung up, adrenaline coursing. He dares act righteous? He'll regret that. That evening, Sam found a single message from Marcus. Dad, this is going nuclear. Mom's in tears calling lawyers. She claims you humiliated her publicly. Why do that? Sam typed a brief reply. She humiliated me in private. This is fair. If you don't get it, that's on you. Then tossed the phone aside. He refused to let fatherly guilt hamper his revenge. Still, an ache lurked under the anger. I love my sons, but they're blind to her manipulations. Maybe one day they'll see the truth. Over the next week, Sam hammered the legal approach. He gave Natalie every piece of evidence Greg gathered. Timestamps, photos of Dana, entering Glendale condo, phone logs. The narrative was crystal clear. Repeated adultery, not a one-off. Legally, Sam was in a prime position. Natalie commended him. You've built a strong case. Judges won't likely grant her a large settlement. She might fight for the house, actually your house now. We'll see. Sam's smirk was predatory. She can fight. She'll lose. Council gossip started swirling, too. Sam learned from a contact that Elliot was trying to push some narrative that Sam was unstable. Rumors that Sam's marriage was rocky for years, and now he was lashing out, possibly unfit for a high-level position. Sam brushed it off. It's desperation. But he quietly readied a statement. If Elliot escalated the smear campaign, Sam would release the evidence to the press or threaten to. That would ruin Elliot's political career. The equilibrium was delicate, but Sam had the advantage. One late afternoon, Willow braved another call. "Dad, can we meet in person? I'd like to hear your side properly. Mom has some wild claims that you had affairs, that you're punishing her for your guilt." Sam nearly barked a laugh. "She says I cheated? That's rich. She has zero evidence. I have mountains." Willow's voice wavered. "I'm stuck in the middle. Just talk to me. Please." After a pause, Sam relented. "Fine. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. at Manny's Diner. You come alone, no drama." The next day, Sam arrived early at Manny's, a retro-style diner with red booths and bright neon lights. He chose a corner booth, scanning the room. Manny's was a place Sam sometimes used for discreet meetings. The staff knew not to pry. Willow entered wearing a rookie's uniform pants, though off-duty. He looked stressed, eyes puffy. Sliding in across from Sam, he gave a small nod. "Dad, thanks for meeting. I just can't wrap my head around how quickly everything collapsed." Sam folded his arms. "I get that, but your mother's the reason. She's had an affair for months, maybe longer. She's lied to all of us." Willow fiddled with a straw wrapper, gaze dropping. "She says it only happened once or twice, that you neglected her. She's trying to justify—" "Stop right there," Sam said coldly. "I have proof, dates, times. They used that Glendale condo multiple times. She can't spin it." Willow's face fell. "God, this is a nightmare. But do you have to be so ruthless? Serving her at the community center, taking all the money?" A muscle in Sam's jaw twitched. "Yes, because if I show weakness, she'll exploit it. She's not the mother you remember, Willow. She's cunning, manipulative, and she took advantage of me." Willow swallowed, voice trembling. "I get your anger, Dad, but she's still my mom, and you two had 25 years. Maybe there's a way." "I'm divorcing her. That's final," Sam said, cutting him off. "She's broken trust. If you want to maintain contact with me, you'll accept that. I won't be guilted into crawling back." A tear glistened in Willow's eyes. I see. So no chance you'll scale back the legal attacks?" Sam leaned forward. "Son, she hammered the first nail. I'm not letting her walk away with half my assets or claim moral high ground. She'll pay for her choices." Willow nodded slowly. "Then I guess this is it. I can't do anything to fix it." "No," Sam said, softening a fraction. "Focus on your academy training. Don't let her drag you down. If you want the truth, I'll show you the evidence. You'll see she's lying. But if you still side with her, that's your call. Understand?" Willow hesitated, then nodded. "I'll think about it. I just never expected my family to blow up so violently." They parted with a quiet handshake. Sam's heart ached, seeing his son's pain. But he refused to yield. Better heartbreak now than letting Dana manipulate me further. That night, Natalie called with urgent news. "Sam, Dana's lawyer fired back. They filed a motion claiming emotional abuse on your part, citing your refusal to communicate and your humiliating public serve. They want a restraining order if possible. It's flimsy, but they're trying every angle." Sam let out a low growl. "She's the abuser. She's the liar. She's humiliating me, not the other way around." "I know. Relax. We can counter easily. But it shows they're desperate. She's painting you as this controlling sheriff who wields power to isolate her. We'll refute it with evidence you only took legal measures. No threats or violence from your side, correct?" Sam's mind flashed to that moment he discovered them. He'd not touched her or Elliot, though he wanted to. "No violence, just left the house." Natalie sounded relieved. "Good. Then we can dismantle her claims. I'll handle the legal response. A small grin tugged Sam's lips. She thinks she can brand me as a monster. Keep trying. He hung up, feeling an invigorating surge. If she wants war, she'll lose. I'm not caving. Chapter 4. One brisk morning, Sam dressed sharply black slacks, a collared shirt. He headed to the courthouse again, this time because Dana's lawyer filed for a hearing on an emergency restraining order, a blatant attempt to paint Sam as a threat. As he entered the small courtroom, he spotted Dana seated with her attorney. She looked disheveled, eyes puffy. Crocodile tears, Sam thought grimly. She's probably playing the victim. Elliot wasn't present, likely avoiding public association with her for the moment. Sam took a seat beside Natalie at the respondent's table. The judge, a middle-aged woman with stern features, scanned the documents. Dana's attorney stood, launching into a diatribe about how Sam's public humiliation and intimidation caused Dana severe emotional distress. He is a sheriff with a firearm. She fears for her safety. Natalie sprang up in rebuttal. Your Honor, these accusations are baseless. My client, Sam, has never threatened physical harm. The only humiliation was the standard legal process of serving divorce papers. It's all documented. The judge eyed Dana. Mrs. Halston, do you have any actual evidence of threats or violence? Dana sniffled, glancing up with watery eyes. He's cut off my finances. Changed the locks. He's powerful in the community. I fear he could harass or arrest me on false charges. The judge's gaze flicked to Sam. Is that accurate, Sheriff? Did you threaten arrest or mention using your position against her? Sam's voice was crisp, unwavering. No, Your Honor. I have not threatened her. I'm divorcing her for adultery. Financial separation is legal under our prenup. I have no desire or grounds to arrest her. She's not done anything criminal aside from moral wrongdoing. I just want her out of my life. Dana's face twisted in anger at that last phrase. The judge folded her hands. I see. Considering the lack of direct threats or evidence, I'm inclined to deny the restraining order. Ms. Halston, if you have further proof in the future, you may refile. A small victorious thrill coursed through Sam. Denied. Dana's lawyer muttered something about, we'll be back, but the judge dismissed them. As everyone stood to leave, Sam threw a cold glance at Dana. She glared back, tears brimming, lips trembling in frustration. He gave her no sympathy. Outside the courtroom, as Sam retrieved papers from Natalie, Dana approached her, eyes sparking with a mix of fury and desperation. Her lawyer hovered behind her, uncertain. Sam, Dana hissed, voice raw. Why are you being so cruel? We had a life together. You can't just yank everything away. Sam's gaze was ice. You yanked away my trust the moment you let Elliot into our bed. Don't play the victim. She stepped closer, voice dropping. I never meant it to go this far. We were bored or lonely, and now you're destroying me financially. Doesn't that guilt you at all? No, Sam spat. You destroyed your own marriage. I'm just ensuring you face consequences. Enjoy Elliot's generosity, if you can. Her eyes flared, and for a heartbeat, Sam saw something akin to regret, but then she stiffened. Fine. If you want war, you'll get it. I'll keep pushing for a bigger settlement. You're not invincible. He scoffed, turning away. We'll see about that. Natalie gently tugged his elbow. Time to go, Sam. Don't engage further. We have what we need. They left Dana standing in the courthouse hallway, shoulders shaking in silent rage or tears. Sam felt no pity, only a grim satisfaction. Back at the rental, Sam called Greg Monroe for updates. Greg's voice crackled over speaker. Sheriff, good news. I found more suspicious transactions from Elliot to Dana's personal account, like hush money or living expenses. They've used coded references like housekeeping help or consulting fee. This indicates a deeper relationship. Sam's eyebrow twitched. Excellent. That helps prove she's been financially supported by him, which undermines any claim for spousal support from me. Exactly, Greg said. Also, I overheard them at a cafe. Elliot's complaining about you messing up his political ambitions. He's hinting he might leak rumors about you being violent or unethical. Watch your back. Sam tensed but remained calm. Let him try. I have a spotless record. Thanks, Greg. Keep me posted. Though Sam had effectively moved out, the family house legally belonged to him now. He decided to reclaim it physically. So he contacted a locksmith, one from out of county to avoid local gossip. They arrived at midday, changed all external locks, the alarm system codes. Sam oversaw it, ensuring no sign of forced entry, just legal property rights. The interior carried the ghostly echoes of the life he once lived. I used to lounge on that sofa with her, watch Netflix, chat about the future. Now the place felt hollow, like a stage set for illusions. He removed personal items, photos, mementos. Dana's clothes were still in the closet. He debated trashing them, but decided that might look petty in court. Instead, he packed them neatly into boxes, storing them in the garage. If she wants them, she can schedule a supervised pickup through lawyers. The dining table was the worst. He glared at it, recalling that searing image of her with Elliot. I'll burn it eventually. Right now, I have bigger priorities. Days turned into weeks, the divorce case heading into the discovery phase. Sam noticed subtle shifts in the local press. A small editorial article questioned whether the sheriff's personal vendettas might hamper his ability to serve fairly. Elliot's handiwork, Sam concluded. He refused to issue a formal statement, but quietly rallied his allies. The district attorney, a few commissioners who disliked Elliot's shady tactics. They assured Sam of support. Meanwhile, Natalie crafted an official line. Sheriff Halston is a private citizen in this divorce abiding by the law. Personal matters don't affect his professional duties. One morning, Sam received a letter from Dana's attorney requesting a mediation session to settle amicably. The suggestion implied meeting with a neutral mediator to divide assets and avoid further conflict. Natalie relayed it. So they want to talk terms outside of court, probably because they see the evidence is stacked against them. Sam's eyes narrowed. I suspect they want a better deal or to fish for compromise. I'm not in a compromising mood, but I'll attend if it shortens the process. We can try, Natalie said, but if they push nonsense, we walk away. Sam agreed to a mediation date. If Dana tries to spin sob stories, I'll remain rock solid. A week later, Sam and Natalie entered a private conference room at the law firm that provided mediation services. A tall, gray-haired mediator greeted them calmly. Opposite the table sat Dana with her attorney, a younger man with slicked-back hair who exuded contrived confidence. Dana refused to meet Sam's eyes at first. The mediator opened with standard pleasantries, reminding them this was a chance to avoid a drawn-out court battle. Dana's lawyer started. My client acknowledges a brief indiscretion. She apologizes for any hurt. However, we must address the financial cruelty Mr. Halston is exhibiting. She seeks a fair portion, Sam cut in, voice cold. Cruelty? She committed adultery? We have proof it wasn't just brief. The lawyer coughed. We believe it's still minimal, not grounds to deprive her of a comfortable living. She's unemployed, reliant on Mr. Halston for years. Natalie calmly placed a folder on the table. Financial statements show multiple payments from Elliot Stryker to Ms. Halston, indicating she's not reliant solely on Sam. Also, the prenuptial state's adultery negates spousal support beyond a small fixed sum. Dana's cheeks flushed. That prenuptial was signed decades ago when I was naive. This is unfair. Sam glowered. You cheated. That's unfair. You want me to pay for your lifestyle with your lover? No. The mediator tried to steer the conversation to property division. Sam declared, the house is mine, as per the updated deed. She can have her personal belongings, but no claim on the property. I'll offer a small financial settlement in line with the prenup's adultery clause. That's it. Dana's attorney bristled. Our position is that the updated deed was coerced. She signed under false promises. We aim to challenge that. Sam snorted. Good luck. The notary record is crystal clear. She wasn't coerced. Dana finally spoke, her voice trembling with anger. Sam, we shared that home for decades. You can't just cast me out on the street. He stared at her, jaw tight. You welcomed another man into that home. On our anniversary, no less. So, yes, I can. I have the law on my side. Tears pricked her eyes, and for a moment Sam felt a flicker of pity. Then he remembered Elliot's hands all over her. The pity vanished. The mediator sighed, seeing the hostility. Perhaps we break for coffee, see if cooler heads can prevail. But after the break, nothing changed. Dana demanded spousal maintenance. Sam refused. The session ended with no settlement, both sides resolute. Natalie patted Sam's shoulder as they left. They might cave eventually, or we go to court. You did well. You didn't budge. I'm done budging, Sam replied. She'll walk away with the bare minimum, or we fight. Late that night, Sam's phone buzzed with an unknown number. He answered warily. Sheriff Halston? Elliot's smug voice came through. Did you enjoy humiliating Dana at mediation? You're making her life hell. Bravo! Quite the alpha male act. Sam's grip tightened. Speak your piece or get lost. Just letting you know, I have connections that can complicate your career. I hear you might run for state commissioner someday. A scandalous divorce might hamper that. If you back off, I might keep certain stories quiet. Sam gave a sharp laugh. Threaten me all you want, but you're the adulterer hooking up with a married woman. I have the moral high ground. My record is spotless, and any attempt to smear me as violent or incompetent will fail. A beat of silence. Then Elliot sneered. We'll see. People love gossip. Meanwhile, I'm quite comfortable with Dana. She's in good hands, if you know what I mean. Rage flared in Sam's chest. He's taunting me. He forced calm. Enjoy paying her bills then, Elliot. Because I won't. Also, watch your back. Your corruption is well known. I may have evidence to tip the feds your way. Good night. He hung up, heart pounding. He wants to rattle me? Sam refused to succumb to intimidation. I'll hold the line. He can't break me. Days passed, tension soared. Willow texted a few times, increasingly sympathetic to Sam's view after glimpsing the Glendale condo logs. He's coming around. Meanwhile, Marcus remained distant, sending only cryptic updates about his upcoming wedding. Sam tried not to dwell on it, focusing on the end game. When the divorce finalizes, maybe they'll see I was right. Eventually, a court date loomed less than a month away. Natalie prepared the final docket, listing adulterous evidence, financial documents, prenuptial terms. Sam polished his testimony. They predicted Dana's side might attempt emotional appeals, claims of duress, or cast Sam as a controlling figure. But Sam felt unstoppable. I have every angle covered. He spent nights at the reclaimed house, feeling echoes of betrayal, but fueling his determination. I'll be free of her soon. The upcoming hearing would either yield a settlement or lock them in a continued fight. Either way, Sam intended to crush her illusions. As he gazed at the empty dining room, where once he'd found her in Elliot's arms, Sam repeated a mantra. I will not bow. She will not win. I am forging a new path, alone, but unbroken. He mentally braced for the final battle. Let the court see the real Dana. He smirked. She thought I'd be weak. She was dead wrong. Chapter 5. A week before the scheduled hearing, Sam found himself in the musty old study of his reclaimed home, surrounded by boxes of legal documents. Despite the midday sun streaming through the windows, the house felt cold, each step echoing in emptiness. Dana's lingering traces, some old photos, a cardigan left in a closet did little but stir Sam's resolve to finalize the divorce and purge her memory from this place forever. His attorney, Natalie, had dropped off a thick binder containing every relevant piece of evidence. Sam turned pages of phone logs, Glendale condo receipts, pictures captured by Greg Monroe showing Dana entering that secret condo with Elliot. Each new line of proof hardened his determination. Tomorrow's the pre-hearing, Natalie's voice played in his memory from a phone call that morning. We'll set the tone, Sam. We'll demonstrate that your prenuptial agreement stands and that Dana's adulterous conduct destroys any high claim she might have. Sam's expression darkened with a glint of vindication. She thought I'd capitulate? She's in for a rude awakening. As the clock ticked down to that hearing, Sam busied himself in final preparations. He arranged for Willow to watch the house while he was out, more a symbolic gesture of bridging father-son trust. Willow, albeit still torn, had softened upon seeing undeniable evidence of Dana's months-long betrayal. Meanwhile, Marcus remained resentful, but Sam hoped the upcoming court revelations might jolt him awake. On the morning of the hearing, Sam drove to the county courthouse, dressed in a crisp suit rather than his uniform. He refused to wear the badge for personal matters. It was important to show the judge he was there as a private citizen defending his rights, not as Sheriff Halston flaunting authority. Natalie walked beside him with a calm, professional stride. She carried a slim briefcase brimming with carefully tabbed folders. The corridors echoed with attorneys bustling around, clients in hushed arguments. Sam maintained an unflinching stare. We'll be in courtroom 3A, Natalie said, nodding at a corridor sign. Dana's side will likely come loaded with emotional testimonies. Brace yourself for sensational claims. Sam huffed, glancing at the polished marble floors. They can sensationalize all they want. I have facts. That's stronger than any sob story. They stepped into the small but dignified courtroom. Wooden benches stood behind a short railing that separated the public from the lawyers' podiums and the judge's elevated seat. At the front sat the court reporter, an elderly woman setting up her stenograph. Dana was already there with her attorney, a young but shrewd man named Boyle. Dana glanced back, eyes rimmed red, as if she'd been crying. Sam felt an instant pang of bitter memory. Those tears never deterred her from betrayal. He forced his face into an impassive mask and proceeded to their side of the bench. The clerk called the case. Halston versus Halston. Everyone rose as Judge Lucinda Boyd, a no-nonsense middle-aged woman with a streak of white in her hair, entered. She settled behind the high desk, adjusted her glasses, and began. We have a contested divorce on the docket, primarily revolving around property division, prenuptial agreements, and accusations of adultery. Are counsel ready? Natalie stood, voice firm. Yes, Your Honor. Representing Sam Halston. Boyle also rose. Yes, Your Honor. Representing Dana Halston. He placed a hand gently on Dana's shoulder in a performative gesture of reassurance. Let's start with the prenuptial, the judge said briskly. I understand there's an adultery clause that might limit spousal support. Ms. Landers. She nodded at Natalie. Please summarize your stance. Natalie delivered a concise statement. Sam had a valid prenuptial, notarized and updated at year 10 of the marriage. with a clear infidelity clause negating large alimony claims. She concluded with a crisp, "We have undeniable evidence of adultery by Mrs. Halston, thus triggering the clause." Boyle straightened his tie, stepping up. "Your Honor, while we acknowledge an old prenuptial, we argue that it was signed under questionable conditions, with Ms. Halston not fully aware of its ramifications. Also, this alleged adultery is being overstated. My client believes it was a one-time mistake, not an ongoing affair, and that Mr. Halston contributed to the marital breakdown by neglect." Sam suppressed a scornful laugh at Boyle's claims. "One-time mistake? We have pictures from multiple months." He forced himself to remain stoic, letting Natalie handle the direct arguments. When the judge turned to Sam for a brief statement, he rose, carefully modulating his voice. "Your Honor, my wife's infidelity wasn't a mere slip. We have documents showing repeated encounters over months. This is not about lack of affection from me. It's about her deliberate betrayal. The prenuptial was never forced. She signed it voluntarily, an adult fully capable of understanding the terms." He sat, ignoring Dana's trembling glare. No pity. To Sam's mild surprise, the judge allowed Dana a short statement under counsel's guidance. Dana stood, tears glistening, voice quivering. I regret any hurt I caused Sam, but he pushed me away for years with his work. Barely home, no intimacy, leaving me isolated. Elliot was, yes, it was a terrible lapse. But it wasn't an ongoing relationship like he claims. I feel cornered financially, all my accounts frozen. I asked the court for fairness, so I'm not left destitute after 25 years of building a life with him. Sam's jaw tightened. Her trembling words might sway an empathetic heart, but he noticed how carefully she avoided details. No mention of Glendale, no mention of repeated visits. She's picking her allusions carefully. Natalie stood for cross-examination, but the judge decided they'd handle deeper cross in the final trial, not at the pre-hearing. Instead, they moved to schedule a more formal evidentiary hearing. The judge set a date 6 weeks away. "We'll have a short recess," the judge said. "Upon return, I'll address immediate property or support orders if needed." The gavel rapped lightly, and tension spilled out in hushed chatter. Sam exhaled, mind racing. 6 more weeks of waiting, but at least we're on track. During recess, Sam spotted Marcus hovering near the corridor. The son had apparently come to observe. Marcus was shifting awkwardly, arms folded. He locked eyes with Sam, gave a slight nod, then approached hesitantly. "Hey, Dad," Marcus said quietly. "I heard her talking there. She sounded so broken, but also I see you're not budging. This is all bigger than I realized." Sam gave a curt nod. "It's real, son. She's been lying about the affair's duration. I can prove it." Marcus swallowed. "Look, I just want to ensure no irreversible damage to the family. But it feels like everyone is in meltdown mode. My wedding's in a few months, and I'm not sure if you'd even want to come if Mom's there." A flicker of pain crossed Sam's features. His own son doesn't know if he wants me at his wedding. He forced a calm tone. "That's your choice, Marcus. I'm not going to fake civility with her. If you want me there, I'll come. But I won't pretend we're a happy family." Marcus sighed. "I'm caught in the middle. She claims you're starving her out financially. You claim she's lying. It's brutal, Dad." "It is. But blame her, not me," Sam said firmly. "I'm not the one who cheated. I'm just protecting what's mine." Marcus studied his father's face, seeming at a loss. "Okay, I'll keep my distance for now. Just don't destroy everything in the process." Sam's lips tightened. "She already did that. I'm just cleaning up." They parted with no hug, no handshake, just a tension-laden silence. Sam's heart clenched. I'm losing closeness with my sons, but I can't capitulate. Court reconvened. Judge Boyd explained she wouldn't finalize anything until the main trial, but offered an interim order. Dana must vacate the marital home if Sam provided her an alternative short-term lodging or compensation. Sam need not pay spousal support but must continue basic insurance coverage for her until final divorce. The prenuptial stands as presumably valid for the moment. If Dana wants to challenge it, she must present substantial evidence soon. Dana's mouth parted in shock at the mention of vacating the home. Her attorney sputtered about fairness, but the judge was firm, referencing the updated deed. Sam suppressed a grim smile. Step 1. Get her physically out. As they adjourned, the tension in the room was electric. Sam marched out, ignoring Dana's pale, furious face. The war had advanced in his favor. She'll have to rely on Elliot or a motel now, ironically, the same route I took. Exiting the courthouse, Sam found a small knot of local reporters waiting. Damn, Elliot must have tipped them off. They flashed cameras, calling out, "Sheriff Halston, any comment on your divorce? Are you forcing your wife onto the streets? Is it true you caught her with a city councilman?" Sam paused, flanked by Natalie. She whispered, "Careful. Keep it general." He offered a measured statement. "This is a private legal matter. I have faith in the court system to ensure fairness. My focus remains on my duties as sheriff and on the truth coming to light." The reporters persisted, but Sam turned away, stepping into the swirl of passers-by. He felt a swirl of vindication. So be it. Let the gossip burn. I'll stand by the facts. Later that evening, Sam sat with Natalie and Willow at a quiet steakhouse, a spontaneous dinner to decompress from the hearing's intensity. Willow looked uneasy but had joined to show partial support for his father. Natalie sipped iced tea, scanning a day's recap. "Not a bad outcome," she told Sam. "Interim order basically sides with us, that's a big sign. But expect them to keep fighting." Sam nodded. "We'll fight back. This is just the start." Willow frowned. "Are you two celebrating? Because it feels weird. Mom's losing her place to live, Dad." Sam set his fork down, exhaling. "She has alternatives. She can stay with Elliot if she likes. She forfeited the right to my home the moment she disrespected it so thoroughly." Willow stared at his plate, apparently pained. "Right. I guess that's the reality." Natalie changed the subject to strategy, discussing depositions, the next steps in discovery. Sam listened intently, though part of him recognized Willow's silent struggle. He'll have to accept it. I can't coddle him anymore. That night, Sam returned to the house, the once shared bedroom now stripped of Dana's belongings. He stood by the window, gazing at the moonlit yard where he used to barbecue with family. That life is gone. But instead of mourning, he felt renewed vigor. The pre-hearing had proven the tide favored him. She'll soon be forced out, confronted by her own decisions. Each day that passed, Sam advanced another step in ensuring Dana reaped the consequences of her betrayal. He locked the doors, set the new alarm code, and climbed into bed with an odd sense of satisfaction. The house felt a little less haunted now that the court recognized his ownership. He closed his eyes, whispering into the stillness. "You wanted to break me, Dana. Instead, I'll break your illusions. No mercy." Chapter 6. With the interim court order in place, Dana had 2 weeks to vacate the property. Meanwhile, rumors swirled around Hillside County about the sheriff's messy divorce, occasionally flaring on social media. Sam ignored the chatter, confident it would blow over once the final decree arrived. Marcus mostly remained aloof, struggling to plan his wedding while chaos overshadowed the family. Meanwhile, Willow grew increasingly sympathetic to Sam's position. He'd even started refusing Dana's calls, tired of her contradictory stories. One day she says it was a fling. The next day she says Sam is abusive. Willow concluded she wasn't being honest. Sam appreciated Willow's slow shift. At least one son might fully stand by him. He let Willow handle small tasks around the house, hoping fatherson trust would mend. On a cloudy morning, Sam arrived at the house in time to see Dana's car in the driveway against court instructions. She'd apparently come to gather her belongings. She was with her attorney, Boyle, rummaging in the living room. Sam felt his blood simmer but remained composed. "You have an appointment for this?" Sam asked icily, stepping in. Boyle raised his hands defensively. "We tried calling your lawyer. Ms. Halston needs personal items, clothes, some furniture. We didn't break in. The door was unlocked." Sam glared. "I must have forgotten to double lock. Next time, coordinate. Let's keep it civil." Dana, hair disheveled, shot Sam a bitter look. "Civil? Right. This was my home for decades. Now I have to ask permission to step inside?" "It's no longer yours," Sam stated, voice steely. "You have a court-ordered time frame to remove your stuff. Let's do it quickly with no drama. Then go." She swallowed, hands trembling. "Fine. I just want my clothes. Some old keepsakes, a sofa." Sam cut her off. "Sofa? No. The judge didn't say you can take major furniture. You get personal belongings only." Boyle intervened. "We'll itemize them. Ms. Halston believes certain pieces were gifts from her family. We can negotiate." "We'll see about that," Sam retorted. For 2 tense hours, they labeled boxes while Sam hovered, ensuring they didn't overstep. Every so often, Dana paused, staring at a photo on a mantel, an image from their honeymoon. She looked close to tears, but Sam gave no comfort. This heartbreak is of her own making. Finally, a small moving van arrived. They loaded the boxes, leaving Sam's living room half empty, which ironically felt more liberating for him. Dana departed with a final cold glance. "This is so cruel, Sam. I never thought you'd be this heartless." He shrugged. "And I never thought you'd cheat. We're both surprised, I guess." She stormed out, tears brimming, Boyle trailing behind. Sam locked the door after them. She can cry a river. It changes nothing. Later that week, Sam learned through a local journalist friend that Elliot was under increased scrutiny for questionable campaign financing. Some donors turned out to be shell companies. Sam saw an opportunity. "If he's indicted, that helps my case, right?" Sam asked Natalie by phone. She agreed. "Yes, in a way. It discredits him, shows poor moral character. But be cautious. Someone might claim you're using your sheriff's office to feed the investigation. Keep it squeaky clean." Sam smirked at the caution. He had no illusions of stepping outside the law. "But if the feds find him guilty, that's sweet karma." Greg Monroe approached Sam with a bold proposition. "We could set up a sting or at least watch that Glendale condo more closely. Maybe we catch Elliot or Dana discussing strategy or money that confirms bigger wrongdoing." Sam mulled it over. "And how do we do it without going borderline illegal? I can't be seen misusing my law enforcement resources." "I'd do it privately," Greg said. "Hidden camera on common areas. If we get them talking about paying off officials or forging documents, that's gold. A risk. If discovered, it might appear invasive." But Sam's thirst for proof overshadowed caution. "All right, but keep it off official radars. I don't want any blowback on my department." Greg nodded, eyes gleaming with the thrill of covert ops. Sam knew it was a gamble, but if it further revealed Elliot's corruption, it would strengthen Sam's position and personal satisfaction. One afternoon, Marcus unexpectedly showed up at the station, requesting a private word with Sam. Leading him into a small office, Sam closed the door, steeling himself for more paternal conflict. Marcus's eyes flickered with agitation. Dad, can you at least give Mom some money to help her move? She's really struggling, and I feel guilty. Sam's lip curled. Guilty for what, Marcus? She has Elliot, right? Apparently Elliot's funds are tied up, or he's not giving her much. She's couch surfing at a friend's place. A part of Sam almost felt a pang. Then he recalled how she'd humiliated him. Not my problem. She wants money. She can wait for the final settlement which the prenuptial outlines. End of story. Marcus exhaled sharply. You used to care about people in need. Are you that changed? She changed me, Sam snapped. When she brought a lover into my bed, she threw away my care. Now the law is my boundary. I owe her nothing more. Marcus ground his teeth, tears sparking in his eyes. It's so brutal, I can't believe we can't find any middle ground. Sam softened an inch, wanting to keep lines open with his son. Look, I'm not cruel by nature, but I won't reward her betrayal. Don't ask me again. Marcus left, shoulders slumped, and Sam felt that familiar tug of sorrow. But no, I have to stand firm. Sam had been so consumed by bitterness, he scarcely considered personal life outside of revenge. But one evening, a faint flicker of something else emerged. He was grabbing a quick coffee at a local cafe. The barista, Cynthia, a friendly woman in her 30s, greeted him with a warm smile. Sheriff, I heard about your divorce. Sorry if it's complicated. If you ever need a listening ear... She blushed lightly, a sympathetic sparkle in her eyes. Sam paused, a swirl of conflicted emotions. Too soon to even think of new romance. But a part of me craves normalcy, or at least a casual conversation that isn't about betrayal. He gave a polite nod, forcing a small smile. Thank you, Cynthia. Appreciate it. Might take you up on that sometime. She beamed, sliding him an extra cookie on the house. Sam walked away with a faint sense of possibility. I'm not dead inside. Maybe once the divorce is over, I can start living again. Boyle again proposed a second round of mediation, claiming they had new perspective. Natalie advised Sam to attend, if only to confirm whether Dana might accept the prenuptial terms. So they convened in a neutral conference room. Dana arrived alone, no Elliot this time, visibly more subdued. She fiddled with her hands as the mediator re-explained the process. Sam noticed lines of stress on her face, consequence of her choices. He reminded himself. I've decided to let go of challenging the prenuptial, Dana began quietly. But I need some financial assistance to secure an apartment. I can't rely on Elliot right now. He has his own legal troubles. I'm sorry, Sam, for everything. I never wanted to nuke our life this way. For a moment, her words sounded almost genuine. Sam studied her face. Is she playing pity or truly remorseful? Natalie leaned to Sam, whispering, We can consider a small lump sum, but ensure it's consistent with the prenup's adultery clause. He nodded. Then he spoke aloud, voice level. The prenuptial sets a certain cap for marital wrongdoing scenarios, $25,000, correct? I'm willing to give that as a final settlement, in addition to letting you keep personal possessions. Nothing more. Dana looked pained. 25 grand, that's barely enough for a year of rent. We were married a quarter century. Doesn't that count for anything? Sam's jaw clenched. It counted until you spat on it. I'll stick to the clause. A hush fell. The mediator gently probed. Mrs. Halston, do you accept this? It spares both of you a lengthy trial. You must weigh the cost of further litigation. Dana's mouth trembled. She slumped. I guess so. If that's all I can get, fine. The mediator exhaled relief, turning to Sam's side. Should I draft a statement of agreement? Natalie nodded firmly. Yes, please. We'll sign once we see the final wording, then the judge can incorporate it into the final decree. Sam watched Dana's expression. Despite her nod, something in her eyes suggested resentment. She's cornered, but not subdued. He braced for the possibility she might sabotage or backtrack. For now, though, it seemed they had an agreement. Just as the mediator prepared to finalize the draft, Boyle walked in late, apology on his lips. After hearing the terms, his eyes flared. "Wait a minute. Ms. Halston, have you considered the possibility we can challenge the entire prenuptial? I have new angles to explore about you signing under emotional duress 15 years ago. We shouldn't rush to settle." Dana blinked, looking torn. She nearly accepted, but her lawyer sees a bigger payday. Sam grit his teeth, anticipating trouble. "But the hearing soon," the mediator said. "Did Ms. Halston not just say she'd accept?" Boyle insisted. "That was before I arrived with updated strategy. We asked for time to compile evidence of undue pressure. Let's hold off finalizing anything." Dana wavered. I don't know. Sam is so determined. I'm tired." "Dana, trust me," Boyle said. "You can do better than 25,000. Don't let him bully you." Sam's fists clenched under the table. "Bullying? She's the adulterer. This is the generosity of my prenuptial. She's lucky I'm not going for punitive damages." Boyle shot back. "Adultery doesn't negate 25 years of shared life. The judge might see it differently if we present the emotional neglect." "Don't sign anything, Ms. Halston." A tense silence stretched. Finally, Dana gave a slow nod. "I guess we wait. I can gather the mental health records that show I was depressed when I signed. Maybe that helps." Sam stood abruptly, fury humming in his veins. "Enough. This is a waste of time. We're done here. See you in court." He marched out, ignoring the mediator's flustered attempts to salvage the session. So she retracts acceptance. Again. Outside in the parking lot, Sam vented to Natalie, voice vibrating with anger. "She's playing games. Accept? Then backtrack. She'll pay. This is dragging on." Natalie soothed him. "Her lawyer might think they can poke holes in the updated prenuptial, but I doubt they'll succeed. However, it means we likely go to full trial. Are you prepared for the cost, the drama?" Sam's grin was humorless. "I have the resources. And yes, I'd rather burn more money ensuring she gets minimal than yield an inch." Natalie patted his shoulder. "Then let's proceed. Next step, depositions, final trial prep. Let's bury them with evidence." That night, Sam paced in his living room, the silence broken only by the creaks of the old floor. The air felt charged, as though a storm hovered on the horizon. He recalled the day he found Dana and Elliot entwined on this very floor plan. The memory ignited fresh wrath. She refuses to settle? Fine. Let the gavel fall hard on her. He dialed Willow's number, updating him on the fiasco with the mediation. Willow sighed. "It never ends, does it, Dad? Just don't let them drag you into a meltdown. Keep your head, okay?" "I will, son," Sam replied. "But they'll regret dragging this out." As he ended the call, Sam felt the swirl of unstoppable momentum. The final hearing loomed. Dana might attempt one last desperation play. "I'll be ready." He locked every door, gazing out the window at a faint moon. Another night alone in the house that was once a family home. Another step closer to erasing the past. Chapter 7. The day of the final divorce trial approached. A date circled in red on Sam's calendar. 6 weeks after the interim hearing. Natalie organized a robust arsenal of documents, depositions, witness lists. She had the Glendale photos ready, the private investigator's logs, the bank statements. Meanwhile, Boyle's motions to invalidate the prenuptial languished, failing to produce strong evidence of duress. Even so, Sam refused complacency. He spent hours with Natalie doing mock testimony, practicing calm, concise answers. Dana presumably would attempt emotional pleas. Sam would refute with logic and evidence. No meltdown on the stand, he reminded himself. Stay unflappable. Willow offered moral support, though the friction with Marcus persisted. Marcus apparently planned to skip the trial. He didn't want to see the bitter conflict. Sam accepted that, focusing on victory. My mind's set. I can't coddle him. On the big day, the county courthouse brimmed with the usual bustle. Sam arrived in a tailored navy suit wearing a subdued tie. Natalie was by his side, exuding confidence in her business attire. They filed into courtroom 4B, a polished wooden dais for the judge, pew-like benches behind a low barrier. Dana was already there in a modest black dress, hair pinned back, trying to project an air of dignified sorrow. Next to her, Boyle whispered final instructions. The atmosphere crackled with tension. The seats behind them held a sprinkling of curious onlookers, including a few local reporters plus Willow. Sam spotted a scowl on Elliot's face. In the far row, he had come to support Dana, presumably, or just to gloat. Sam locked eyes with him briefly, letting an icy glare speak volumes. A bailiff called the room to order. Judge Boyd entered, robes swishing, settling with an air of authority. She scanned the docket, then addressed the attorneys. We're here for the contested divorce of Sam Halston versus Dana Halston. I trust both parties are ready, Natalie replied crisply. Yes, Your Honor. Boyle likewise confirmed readiness. The trial commenced. Boyle stood first, pacing in front of the judge's bench with theatrical flair. He painted Dana as a devoted wife of 25 years, suffering from Sam's neglect and emotional absence, leading to a single misguided act of infidelity. He emphasized her stable role in the household, raising children while Sam advanced his career. This prenuptial, Boyle said, was revised under suspicious circumstances. We argue Ms. Halston didn't fully comprehend the ramifications. Furthermore, the alleged repeated affair is unproven. Even if an indiscretion occurred, we ask the court for equitable distribution beyond the paltry sum in the prenuptial's adultery clause. Sam fought an urge to roll his eyes. He's spinning the same nonsense. Then Natalie took her turn, calm but piercing in tone. Your Honor, we have concrete evidence of Ms. Halston's extended affair, proving it was not a mere slip. Additionally, the prenuptial was voluntarily signed, notarized, and updated with Ms. Halston's acknowledgement. We'll show the court that Sam Halston acted consistently with the agreement, and Ms. Halston seeks to circumvent a contract she once accepted. We ask this court to uphold the prenuptial, deny spousal support, and grant Mr. Halston the rightful property settlement. The judge listened intently, face revealing little. Then the first witness was called. Natalie strategically put Sam on the stand early. He swore to tell the truth, then sat, hands clasped before him. Natalie began direct examination, walking him through the timeline of their 25-year marriage. How the prenuptial was first signed, then updated. The day he discovered Dana with Elliot in the dining room. Sam recounted the scene with measured words, voice steady. I arrived home early for our anniversary, found them in an unmistakably sexual position. There was no confusion. She admitted it verbally. In that moment, her reaction was basically scolding me for coming home early. Natalie handed the judge a photo from Sam's phone, the flower bouquet in the trash. Symbolic, but not graphic. It underscored the heartbreak Sam experienced. After that, Sam continued, I left to avoid confrontation. She tried to spin it as some misunderstanding, but I later discovered Glendale receipts proving repeated visits. Not a one-time fling, but a months-long betrayal. He summarized how he followed the prenup's clause regarding adultery. The judge asked a couple clarifying questions. Sam answered calmly. Then it was Boyle's turn to cross-examine. He tried to make Sam seem controlling, referencing the financial freeze. Sam fired back with logic. I simply safeguarded my assets after discovering repeated cheating, legally permissible under the prenuptial. My wife was not left in danger, she had other means. And I never threatened her physically. Boyle insinuated Sam's schedule drove Dana away. Sam retorted, plenty of law enforcement spouses maintain fidelity. Her choice to cheat was hers alone. The cross-examination ended with Sam projecting unwavering strength. The judge offered a neutral, "Thank you. You may step down." Boyle called Dana to the stand next, wanting to harness her emotional appeal. She wore a meek expression, voice quivering. She described how Sam's devotion to policing left her lonely, how she felt overshadowed by his career. A standard trope, Sam thought, remembering how she'd never complained about his job until now. "He was never around," Dana said in a trembling voice. "I fell into depression. Elliot was an ear to listen, and yes, I was weak. It was not months. It was a few times. I regret it so deeply, but Sam's reaction is extreme. He turned off credit cards, changed locks, made me homeless. 25 years can't vanish overnight." Natalie cross-examined with methodical dissection. She presented Glendale condo logs, showing Dana's presence at least 8 separate times over 4 months. She introduced phone records of 60 late-night calls between Dana and Elliot. She read an excerpt from a text in which Dana told Elliot, "I love our mornings together. It's so addictive," dated weeks before the anniversary fiasco. Dana wilted under the evidence. She tried to stammer about the text being just words, but it was damning. She also couldn't deny the repeated Glendale visits. The judge's expression grew more skeptical of Dana's earlier one-time or few-time claim. Finally, Natalie questioned the coercion claim for the prenuptial. Dana had no real proof, no letter from the time, just a vague "I didn't understand." The judge seemed unconvinced. To Sam's grim delight, Boyle had to call Elliot as a witness, perhaps hoping he'd deny a long affair. Elliot walked in, wearing an expensive suit, exuding arrogant composure. He swore in, then faced Boyle's gentle questions about accidental intimacy and emotional comfort. Elliot tried to downplay it. "We had a few encounters. I never intended to break a marriage. Dana was lonely, that's all." But Natalie's cross-examination was a bloodbath. She brandished photos of him escorting Dana multiple times, check stubs from his account to her personal account labeled support, contradictory statements he'd made in earlier depositions. Elliot squirmed, stammering. The judge's brow creased with disapproval. "So it was more than a few encounters, correct?" Natalie pressed. We had some ongoing contact, yes," Elliot admitted. One final blow. Natalie asked if he was aware of any local hush money or attempts to discredit Sam. Elliot tried to deny it, but stuttered. The judge caught the sense of impropriety. Sam sat back, arms folded, satisfaction coursing through him. The arrogant councilman pinned by facts. After days of witness testimonies, Greg's depositions, phone record experts, even a family friend testifying Dana bragged about Glendale visits, the trial wound down. Boyle tried a last-ditch emotional appeal in closing. "She is a mother, a wife of decades who made mistakes under emotional strain. The court shouldn't strip her of a livelihood. She deserves equitable division." Natalie's final statement was crisp. "We have proven an extended adulterous affair, validated the prenuptials terms, and shown Mr. Halston adhered to legal frameworks. Ms. Halston effectively forfeited large spousal claims. We asked the court to finalize the divorce with the prenuptial intact, awarding Ms. Halston only the designated sum for adultery, plus her personal property, nothing more. The judge, face impassive, said she'd review the evidence and issue a ruling soon, likely within a few days or a week. The tension-laden crowd began to disperse. Stepping outside the courtroom for presumably the last time in this legal saga, Sam was confronted once more by Dana. She looked ragged, her eyes red, flanked by a pale-faced Elliot. A few reporters hovered at a distance. "Sam," Dana whispered hoarsely, "please, can we not do this? The judge might rule soon, but can we find a private agreement? I'm humiliated." Sam gazed at her coldly. "Too little, too late. You had multiple chances. You chose to challenge the prenup, to lie about the extent of your affair. Why beg now?" Elliot opened his mouth, but Sam cut him off with a slicing glare. "Don't speak. You've done enough damage." Dana's voice cracked. "I never wanted war, but you forced me. I still can't believe you'd let me suffer like this." "You forced yourself the moment you took him to our table on our anniversary," Sam said, voice resolute. "We're done, Dana." She let out a shuddering breath, tears slipping down. The security presence in the hallway watched warily, but no confrontation escalated physically. Sam simply pivoted and walked away, Natalie at his side, leaving Dana's sobs echoing behind him. Outside the courthouse, a reporter tried to corner Sam for a reaction. He obliged a short statement. "I trust the judicial process. This matter is deeply personal. I have no further comment except that I stand by my actions and the evidence presented. Thank you." He then moved on, ignoring further questions. Behind him, he heard Elliot snapping at a different reporter, blaming Sheriff Halston's vendetta. Sam merely smirked. "Let him talk. The facts are on my side." Over the next days, Sam grappled with both tension and a curious sense of relief. The final decision lay in Judge Boyd's hands. He spent time cleaning the house, discarding old memories, ensuring life resumed normally at the station. He took new interest in local policing initiatives, trying to push forward with a normal routine. "I can't let the divorce overshadow my duties." But each night, he'd stare at his phone, half expecting a call from Natalie with the judge's ruling. The anxious lull hung heavy, yet a faint optimism glimmered. "I did all I could. Let the law handle the rest." Chapter 8. On a breezy Thursday afternoon, Sam was midway through reviewing a budget report in his office when Natalie called, voice brimming with urgency. "Sam, the judge's ruling is out. She's issuing it at 3 p.m. in courtroom 4B. We should be there." Sam's heartbeat quickened. This is it. He informed Deputy Martha to handle station responsibilities, then hurried out, ignoring curious glances from staff. Focus. This is the finish line. Entering courtroom 4B with Natalie felt surreal. The space was mostly empty except for a few key figures. Dana, Boyle, Willow, 2 reporters, and the bailiff. The judge arrived shortly, reading from a typed order. Everyone stood, then settled in. "In the matter of Halston versus Halston," she began, scanning the pages. "After reviewing extensive evidence, testimony, depositions, and prenuptial documentation, this court finds the following." Sam's pulse thundered in his ears as each moment stretched. Judge Boyd's voice cut through the hush. "First, the prenuptial agreement stands as valid. The arguments of duress lack credible proof. Ms. Halston was an adult, signed voluntarily, and updated the contract with full notary presence. Hence, the adultery clause applies." Sam fought the urge to smile. "Yes, that's the big one." He glanced at Natalie, who gave him a small nod. Dana's face paled, tears brimming. Boyle looked grim. The judge continued. "Second, The evidence overwhelmingly indicates Ms. Halston engaged in repeated extramarital relations with Mr. Elliot Stryker over an extended period. The Glendale logs, text messages, and photographic evidence confirm multiple encounters. Therefore, the claim of a one-time slip is refuted. A hush. Sam felt a surge of vindication. That nails it. Then the judge stated, "Accordingly, Mr. Halston shall retain sole ownership of the marital home, consistent with the updated deed. Ms. Halston is ordered to remove any remaining personal items within 5 days under supervised arrangement. No contested furniture or major assets will be reallocated to her." Dana's shoulders sagged. Despair etched on her features. She's losing the house. The final blow. Regarding spousal support, due to the upheld prenuptial and proven adultery, Ms. Halston is entitled only to the lump sum stipulated by the contract for marital wrongdoing, $25,000. This sum must be paid by Mr. Halston within 30 days of the final decree. No additional alimony is granted. Sam inhaled sharply, relief, triumph, swirling in his chest. Exactly what we wanted. The judge concluded with standard language, finalizing the divorce once Sam pays that sum. She hammered the gavel lightly. Divorce is thus granted. Case closed. A moment of stunned silence followed. Dana's face crumpled as tears streamed down. Boyle leaned in, whispering consolations, but it was done. The reporters scribbled notes. Cameras flashed. Willow looked torn, glancing from his mother to his father, uncertain how to feel. Sam's heart thundered with triumph, but he kept his composure, face set. Inside, he roiled with satisfaction that justice prevailed. She can't mooch off me. She's stuck with the consequence of her choices. Natalie gently touched Sam's arm. "We did it. Congratulations, Sam. Court is on your side." He nodded, voice husky. "Thank you for everything." Outside the courtroom, reporters pounced with questions. Sam gave a brief statement. "The court has spoken. I respect the ruling and am ready to move forward. I have no further comment." Then walked on, ignoring the throng. Nearby, Dana sobbed openly. Elliot tried to shield her from cameras, cursing under his breath. Sam locked eyes with Elliot one last time, offering a subtle smirk that said, "Checkmate." Elliot's face contorted with fury, but he said nothing. Willow approached Sam hesitantly, a swirl of emotions on his face. "Dad, so that's it. You're divorced now?" "Yes," Sam said quietly. "It's over." Willow nodded, hugging him briefly. "I'm sorry it ended like this, but maybe it's best. Mom's meltdown, I don't know how to help her." Sam sighed, patting Willow's back. "She made her choices. She has to deal with them. You can support her if you want, but I'm done." "Got it," Willow whispered. "I'll see if I can keep peace. But I respect your stance, Dad." Sam offered a tight smile. "Thanks, son." Per the ruling, Sam had 30 days to pay the 25Ks. He didn't hesitate. The very next day, he cut a cashier's check from his personal account, writing in the memo, "Adultery settlement." He nearly laughed at how petty that sounded, but decided it was too onthanos. Instead, he simply wrote, "Divorce settlement." He had Natalie deliver it to Boyle's office, no direct contact with Dana, no more face-to-face. That chapter was closed. Word reached Sam that Dana found herself in a precarious position. Elliot's mounting legal troubles for campaign finance irregularities meant he wasn't as financially generous as she might have hoped. She moved into a small rental, presumably burning through the 25K quickly. Sam harbored no pity. Greg Monroe passed along a rumor that Elliot and Dana were fighting. She felt misled about his finances, and he found her meltdown burdensome. Sam merely shook his head. Let them devour each other. That evening, Sam returned home to an empty, quiet house. but an emptiness now tinged with relief rather than heartbreak. The final decree was official, the once-dreaded process concluded. He stared at the thick folder of legal documents and realized he was free. No more illusions, no more infiltration of his finances. He stepped outside onto the back porch, the late summer air warm against his face. Crickets chirped softly. He gazed at the star-filled sky, remembering how years ago he and Dana used to sip coffee out here. Those memories are echoes. I'm forging a new path. He wondered fleetingly about Cynthia from the cafe, or even the possibility of someday finding real love again, someone who wouldn't betray him. But for now, he wanted to stand alone, savoring the triumph of justice done. "It's finally over," he murmured to the night. "I walked through hell, but I made it out stronger." Somewhere, far from him, Dana reeled from the consequences. Perhaps Elliot faced upcoming indictment. Sam felt no guilt, only a calm sense that the scales had balanced. This was the closure he needed. Chapter 9. 3 weeks had passed since the court's ruling. Sam stood at the threshold of his house, inhaling the faint scent of fresh paint he'd repainted the living room walls a pale gray. Gone were the old color schemes Dana had chosen. This was his space now, a reflection of his transformation. He'd donated some furniture as well, including the once-treasured dining table that carried too many dark memories. In its place stood a simpler modern table he'd picked up secondhand, polished to a shine. He sipped coffee, gazing at the emptiness. For years, the hum of family life filled these rooms. Now it was peaceful, if a bit lonely. Yet Sam felt an almost guilty sense of relief. No more arguments, no more secrets creeping around corners. Each day he reminded himself, I survived that betrayal. I can handle what comes next. He carried a small box labeled Memories up to the attic. Inside were photographs from the early years with Dana, old letters, keepsakes. Part of him ached, but he'd decided not to burn them. Instead, he'd store them out of sight, let them fade like dust in the rafters. As he closed the attic hatch, a swirl of dust motes danced in the slant of sunlight. This is the final resting place for that chapter. Sam discovered from mutual acquaintances that Marcus was still preparing for his wedding, though the date had shifted. Tensions soared among the bride's family, uncertain if they should invite Sam or worry about drama with Dana. Sam had received no formal invitation yet. In a quiet moment, he texted Marcus. Heard you postponed the wedding. Let me know if you want me there or if you prefer I stay away. I respect your choice. Marcus's response was terse. We'll figure it out. Need time. Lots of family conflict. I'll keep you posted. Sam sighed. He's caught in the crossfire. The father in him wished to attend, to see his son's big day, but the newly divorced man in him refused to endure a forced happy family charade with Dana. When the dust settles, hopefully we can talk calmly. In contrast, Willow thrived in the police academy nearing graduation. He spent weekends shadowing Sam at the station, soaking up practical knowledge. Their bond grew stronger. One late afternoon, father and son strolled the station halls, Willow beaming about an arrest he'd assisted with in a training scenario. Dad, I finally get that sense of purpose you always spoke of protecting people, Willow said, eyes shining. I used to resent how your job took you away. But now I see the responsibility. Sam placed a hand on Willow's shoulder, pride evident. I'm glad you understand. Policing can be tough, but it's deeply meaningful. Just remember to keep your head clear, especially when personal matters tug at you. Willow nodded. I'm learning that. And hey, thanks for being open with me about everything. I know it wasn't easy dealing with Mom's drama. Sam exhaled. I'm just relieved we're still close. She's your mother, but I appreciate you seeing the truth." They left it at that, a comfortable silence speaking volumes. Sam realized Willow's unwavering support was a silver lining he hadn't lost both sons. At least one stayed loyal after all the chaos. At the station, life returned to a steady rhythm. Sam tackled budgets, shift assignments, and community outreach. Yet occasionally, a quiet sense of personal emptiness lingered. Deputy Martha Reynolds, a longtime colleague, noticed. One day she knocked on his office door. "Sheriff, you got a minute?" Sam looked up. "Of course. Come in." Martha set a stack of files down, then hesitated. "We've all seen how the divorce settled, sir. Glad it's done, but we worry you might be burying yourself in work too much. Maybe you should take some personal time." Sam half smiled. "I appreciate the concern, but I'm fine. Keeping busy is how I move forward." Martha's gaze was kindly persistent. "At least consider a short vacation. You deserve it. Maybe visit family or old friends out of town. A change of scenery can help you recharge." He gave a reluctant nod. "I'll think about it. Thank you, Martha." In truth, the idea sparked a flicker of possibility. Might be time to step out of this county, if only for a short break. One evening, Sam found himself drawn to the local cafe where Cynthia worked, the same place they'd had a friendly exchange. He ordered a latte, heart oddly thumping. She recognized him instantly, a bright smile blossoming. "Sheriff Halston, I was hoping you'd come by again," she said, handing him the cup. Sam cleared his throat. "Just Sam now. My shift ended. I'm off duty." Cynthia leaned on the counter, a playful glint in her eye. "Sam, then? Everything all right these days?" He shrugged. "It's calmer now that the divorce is final. I'm figuring out the next steps." She brushed a strand of hair behind her ear. "That's good to hear. If you ever want to chat about non-work stuff, music, movies, silly gossip, let me know. I get off at 8. We could, I don't know, grab a bite?" A faint swirl of nervousness flickered in Sam's chest. He hadn't dated in decades, but Cynthia's warmth felt genuine, untainted by hidden agendas. He forced a small grin. "You know what? That sounds nice. Sure, let's do it." So they agreed to meet after her shift. Sam sipped his latte, heart fluttering with a mix of excitement and trepidation. "I'm not betraying anything by going out, right? I'm free now." The realization was both liberating and unnerving. Let's see where this leads. That same evening, Sam waited outside the cafe, leaning against his SUV. Cynthia emerged, changed out of her barista apron into a casual blouse and jeans. She gave him a warm smile that reached her eyes. He offered a half-smile back, opening the passenger door for her. They chose a small family-owned bistro on the outskirts of town, away from prying eyes. Over plates of grilled salmon and roasted vegetables, they made light conversation. Cynthia teased out Sam's interests books, old Western movies, and the occasional classical music piece he'd discovered while clearing out boxes at home. "I never pegged you as a classical music guy," she said, with an amused twinkle. Sam chuckled softly. "Neither did I, but I found some records that reminded me how relaxing it can be. Maybe it's time I expand my horizons." They avoided heavy talk of the divorce, focusing instead on funny childhood anecdotes. Cynthia shared stories of growing up in a rural area, learning to ride horses. Sam recounted a comedic misadventure from his rookie policing days. Laughter came easily. This was an unfamiliar sensation, enjoying a woman's company without the weight of betrayal in the air. Near the end of the meal, Cynthia reached across the table, fingertips brushing Sam's hand. The gesture was gentle, no grand declaration, just a tender moment. He felt the warmth in that touch, the possibility of genuine human connection beyond heartbreak. "I had a lovely time," she murmured, He nodded, voice hushed. Me too, Cynthia. I needed this, I think. They parted with an unspoken promise to meet again. Sam's drive home was lighter. Perhaps I can rebuild, piece by piece. Meanwhile, Elliot sank deeper into legal troubles. The FBI had opened an official investigation into his campaign finances. A local newspaper ran a headline, "City Councilman Stryker Under Scrutiny." Sam found mild amusement reading the article, which quoted Elliot's claims of innocence. He's flailing. Greg Monroe, ever Sam's reliable source, mentioned that Elliot and Dana were on rocky terms. He's not paying for her apartment. She's forced to rely mostly on that $25K settlement. She's asked him for help with groceries, and he's apparently ignoring her calls. Sam felt a flicker of pity. No, I won't let that sympathy take root. She gambled on Elliot's affluence, only to realize it was a facade. He banished the thought. She made her bed, indeed. The next weekend, Willow stopped by Sam's place, grinning about his upcoming academy graduation. "Dad, I want you there in the front row. It's an official ceremony with the usual speeches and award pins." Sam clapped Willow's shoulder. "Wouldn't miss it. Proud of you, son." Willow hesitated, then added softly, "Marcus might come too. With his fiancée. I hope we can avoid tension. But if it's awkward—" "I understand," Sam frowned. "I have no issue with Marcus. Let him approach me if he wants. I won't push." Later that day, Sam tried texting Marcus again. "Heard you might attend Willow's graduation. I'll be there. Let's keep it peaceful, okay?" Marcus's reply was surprisingly calm. "Yeah, I'll be there. We can talk, Dad. I'm sorry for all the friction. Let's do better." A small smile touched Sam's lips. Perhaps a bridge can be rebuilt. 2 weeks later, the academy graduation unfolded in the county auditorium. Rows of proud families, uniformed cadets in crisp attire. Sam sat near the front, ignoring curious whispers from some townsfolk who recognized him. He's that sheriff who had the scandalous divorce. Sam pretended not to notice. Willow marched with the class, beaming under the bright stage lights. When his name was called, Sam stood clapping vigorously. Pride swelled in his chest. My son is forging his own path. Marcus was there, half hidden a few rows back with his fiancée. After the ceremony, they gathered in the lobby. Sam extended his hand to Willow, who pulled him into a celebratory hug. "Congrats, Officer Willow Halston," Sam teased. "You've earned it?" Willow laughed. "Couldn't have done it without your example." Marcus joined them, looking tense but determined. "Congrats, bro," he said, hugging Willow. Then he turned to Sam, clearing his throat. "Dad, good to see you." Sam nodded. "Likewise, Marcus. No hard feelings?" Marcus's gaze dropped. "I guess I was naive, Dad. I wanted to blame you for shutting Mom out, but I see now that she put you in an impossible spot. I'm sorry." A rush of relief washed over Sam. "That means a lot, son. Let's move forward." They shared a brief, heartfelt embrace. Sam glimpsed tears in Marcus's eyes before he wiped them away. The fiancé hovered politely, watching father and sons reconcile. For a moment, the Halston men found unity again. Sam realized that while the family was irreparably changed, a core bond persisted. That evening, Willow's official graduation dinner took place at a local steak restaurant. Sam, Willow, Marcus, and the fiancé all sat at a table, enjoying light banter. The conversation flowed more naturally than it had in months. Marcus mentioned wedding details, still unconfirmed date, but probably soon. Willow teased him about the color scheme. Sam contributed a wry comment on how to keep wedding budgets under control. No one mentioned Dana. Her absence weighed quietly, but no one pressed the subject. They laughed over silly childhood stories, with Marcus joking about how Sam used to pretend to be an Old West sheriff around the yard. Sam rolled his eyes but smirked in fond memory. "We should do this more often," Marcus remarked. "Feels like the old days minus the tension." Sam smiled. "I'd like that. Let's keep building from here." They toasted with water glasses, Willow's choice, since he was in uniform. A subtle swirl of hope buoyed Sam's spirits. He might have lost a marriage, but he'd saved his integrity. He might be forging a new life, but at least he had a measure of paternal closeness restored. Maybe that's enough for now. Chapter 10. Despite telling himself not to care, Sam occasionally gleaned scraps of news about Dana from acquaintances. She was living in a modest one-bedroom outside town. Elliot visited sporadically, but rumor said their romance was on thin ice. The FBI probe into Elliot's finances had intensified. Talk circulated that a grand jury was convening. Elliot's stress was presumably transferring to Dana, who apparently had meltdown episodes in public. One morning, Sam ran into an old friend, Karen, who was once close to Dana, at the grocery store. She eyed Sam with sympathy. "Dana's not doing well. She's depressed. Told me she regrets everything but can't fix it now. She's stuck. Just thought you should know." Sam inhaled slowly. "Regrets everything, does that matter now?" "Thanks for telling me, Karen. I appreciate it." "Take care of yourself too, Sam," Karen said softly before leaving him amid the cereal aisle. Greg Monroe provided Sam with a final update on Elliot's meltdown. "He's going to be indicted, no question. The feds have enough evidence of wire fraud, illegal campaign donations, money laundering. The media might explode soon." Sam allowed a grim smile. "Couldn't happen to a more deserving guy. Thanks for the intel." Greg nodded. "Be aware. Elliot might lash out. He knows you're the sheriff, that you have moral high ground. Keep an eye on your personal security." Sam tapped the folder in front of him. "I'm prepared. He can rant all he wants. He's done in this county." Amid the swirling drama around Elliot's downfall, Sam found a quiet refuge in Cynthia. They'd begun meeting for coffee or dinner once or twice a week. She was patient with his sometimes guarded demeanor, never pushing too hard about his past. Their conversations flowed from everyday banter like local news or recipe swaps to more personal confessions. One evening, Cynthia invited Sam to a small music recital at the local community college, featuring an amateur string quartet. Sam was hesitant, but eventually agreed. He found himself enthralled by the gentle harmonies of violins and cellos, oddly soothed by the melodic interplay. "This is nice," he whispered to Cynthia mid-performance. She laced her fingers through his. "I knew you'd appreciate it." Sam felt a strange warmth in his chest, as if new possibilities were blossoming. In a way, this is my second chance at living. Fate had other plans, though. One afternoon, as Sam exited the station heading to his SUV, he spotted a figure lurking near the parking lot fence. Elliot Stryker. The man wore a cheap baseball cap, face etched with desperation. Sam stiffened, scanning for potential threats. He's not carrying a visible weapon, but I won't let my guard down. "Sheriff," Elliot said, stepping forward, voice laced with bitterness. Sam squared his shoulders. "You're trespassing, Elliot. Leave now." Elliot's eyes burned with frustration. "You ruined my life. The feds are on me. The council ejected me. My wife threatened to leave me. This is your fault, pushing your damn moral stance, fueling investigations." "My fault? You cheated with my ex-wife, laundered money. You destroyed yourself," Sam retorted, fingers near his holster out of habit. "Now get off station property before I have you escorted out." Elliot sneered, stepping closer. Dana's crying daily, blaming me for not saving her from financial ruin. If you'd just given her a break, we could have settled quietly. But no, you had to humiliate us both. Sam's patience snapped. He spoke in a low, lethal voice. Elliot, you want sympathy? You conspired with her behind my back. You tried to smear me publicly. Now, you face the consequences. I owe you nothing. If you threaten me or my family, I won't hesitate to arrest you personally. Elliot's glare wavered. He spat at the ground. You're a bastard, Halston. Sam shook his head. And you're a criminal, Stryker. We're done here. With that, Sam brushed past, leaving Elliot fuming. He's on the edge. I need to watch out. But I won't let him intimidate me. Just days after that confrontation, the local news flashed the headline, Ex-Councilman Elliot Stryker indicted on federal charges. Footage showed Elliot exiting a federal building in cuffs, flanked by grim-faced agents. Sam watched from his living room, sipping coffee. He felt a mild sense of justice. At least one crooked man gets his comeuppance. Later reports indicated Elliot might attempt a plea deal. No one knew if Dana was involved in any shady finances. Sam suspected she was naive about Elliot's deeper crimes, but her name occasionally popped up in gossip. The indefinite swirl hammered home one fact. Sam was free of that toxic circle. A week after Elliot's indictment, Sam returned home late from a city council budget meeting. To his surprise, a handwritten note lay at his front door, pinned under a small decorative stone. He recognized the handwriting. Dana. He warily lifted it, scanning the short message. Sam, I have no right to ask for anything or to show my face again. I just want to say I'm sorry. Sorry for hurting you, sorry for the lies. I know it's too late. I won't bother you again. Dana Sam's grip tightened on the paper. An actual apology with no disclaimers, possibly sincere or possibly a ploy for sympathy. Regardless, he felt no urge to respond. She'd made her bed. He set the note aside, feeling an odd mix of closure and sadness. At least she acknowledges the damage. But that chapter is sealed. Remembering Deputy Martha's advice about a vacation, Sam decided to plan a weekend trip to a lakeside cabin 2 hours away. He invited Cynthia, uncertain if she'd accept an overnight trip so soon. To his mild delight, she agreed enthusiastically, taking time off from the cafe. The drive was scenic, winding roads lined with tall pines. Cynthia played soft music on the radio, occasionally humming. They chatted easily about the difference between city noise and rural peace. Sam felt the tension in his shoulders melt as each mile passed. This is good for me. I can breathe. The cabin was simple. 2 small bedrooms, a creaky porch overlooking a serene lake. They spent the first evening kayaking along the still waters, laughing when Cynthia almost tipped over. Later, they grilled chicken over a charcoal pit, sipped cold drinks under the stars, and talked about random memories. Sam shared a story of a comedic arrest at a county fair. Cynthia recounted a teenage heartbreak. They ended the night inside, sitting by a flickering fireplace, Cynthia leaning her head on Sam's shoulder. A quiet closeness formed, untainted by old ghosts. The walls he'd built around his heart cracked a bit more. Maybe I can trust again. Under the dim glow of that cabin's fireplace, Cynthia gently pressed her palm against Sam's cheek. You're quieter than usual tonight. What's on your mind? He sighed, gazing at the flickering embers. Just adjusting to the idea that I have a life after the divorce. It was brutal. I didn't think I'd want another relationship, but being here with you feels right. She smiled, eyes warm. I'm patient, Sam. I won't push you to define anything. But I do care about you. A swirl of emotion rose in his chest, gratitude, hope, and a trace of vulnerability. I care about you too, Cynthia. More than I expected. It's new territory for me. Their hands entwined. No more words were needed. The hush of the lake outside, the soft pop of burning wood, these served as a gentle lullaby for a man who once thought his heart was irreparably scarred. After returning from the cabin, Sam faced a life that felt more open. He resumed sheriff duties with renewed vigor, balancing job responsibilities and personal well-being. He recognized that the fiasco with Dana had overshadowed everything for too long. Now he had a budding connection with Cynthia and a stable rapport with Willow. Marcus was warming up too. One afternoon, flipping through his father's old diaries, he found them in a dusty box in the attic. Sam stumbled on a line. Life only moves forward when you let go of old grudges. The truth resonated. He realized it might be time to let go fully, to set aside bitterness. The divorce was done, Elliot was indicted, Dana was out of his life. I can't cling to hatred. I want genuine peace. In the days that followed, Sam quietly let his fury fade. He kept minimal interest in Dana's plight, ignoring further gossip. He told Natalie he'd close all pending motions or claims, satisfied with the court's settlement. No need to chase punitive ends. Enough damage is done. The next time Sam saw Willow, the young officer teased him. "Dad, you seem lighter. People at the station notice you smiling more. Is there a reason?" Sam shrugged, a faint grin tugging his lips. "Maybe I'm just learning to live again, son. Life's too short to brood on betrayal." Willow smirked. "Could it be a certain barista? Word gets around, you know." Sam raised an eyebrow, mock stern. "You hush. But yes, maybe. I'm taking one day at a time." They shared a laugh, father and son forging a bright path. The ghosts of betrayal lingered in distant corners of Sam's mind, but day by day, their hold weakened, replaced by cautious optimism and the warm promise of the future. Chapter 11. The hush of early morning found Sam seated in his newly arranged living room, finishing a bowl of oatmeal. The space was simpler now, fewer knickknacks, more open floor area. A fresh potted plant by the window that Cynthia recommended. I liked the calm. He'd risen at dawn, checked departmental emails, and planned the day's tasks. Despite the calm routine, Sam was anything but stagnant. He'd begun to push for improved community policing initiatives, enlisting Willow's youthful enthusiasm. He approached the county commissioners, ignoring the memory that once Elliot had been among them. Now, they welcomed Sam's input wholeheartedly since Elliot's scandal cleared the path for real changes. "You've become the moral backbone of our region, Sheriff," one commissioner said, congratulating Sam on his perseverance. Sam nodded, grateful that personal storms hadn't derailed his professional respect. News arrived that Marcus's wedding date was set for late autumn, a small garden ceremony. The invitation arrived in Sam's mailbox, a neat envelope with swirling calligraphy addressed to Mr. Sam Halston. Inside, Marcus had penned a brief note. "Dad, I'd be honored if you walked me down the aisle with Mom." Reading that, Sam's throat tightened. Walk him down the aisle with Mom? Does he realize we can't just pretend to be a loving couple? He decided to phone Marcus. The conversation was tentative, but candid. "Marcus, I know it's awkward. The symbolic thing is to have both parents walk me a short distance before I stand with my fiancé. If that's too weird, I'll understand, but it's a tradition in her family, so we thought we'd incorporate both parents. You can do a short walk, then step aside." Sam hesitated. "Marcus, I want to support your wedding, but being side by side with your mother, pretending we're cordial, it's tough." "I get it," Marcus murmured. "We can adapt if needed." Let's just see if you can both handle it for 2 minutes. For my sake? Sam exhaled heavily. All right, I'll try for you, son. But do not expect conversation with her. I'll be civil, but that's all. Marcus's relief was palpable. Thank you, Dad. It means a lot. Months breezed by. The crisp fall air turned leaves golden across Hillside County. Sam juggled normal policing with bridging the newly minted romance with Cynthia. They'd grown comfortable occasionally spending weekends at each other's places. She coaxed him into attending a local concert or trying new restaurants. He introduced her to Willow, who teased Sam about finally having a date. Their synergy was gentle, no rush. He was truly learning to trust again. In the background, Marcus's wedding loomed. The bride's family bustled with arrangements, though they whispered concerns about the divorced parents coexisting. Marcus assured them it would be handled. Sam confided in Cynthia about his jitters. Standing next to Dana at that ceremony, it might dredge up old wounds. Cynthia held his hand. Focus on Marcus. This is his day. Keep your composure, and if it gets heavy, just step aside politely. Let them have their moment. Her calm acceptance soothed Sam's anxieties. He realized how different Cynthia was. No manipulation. No hidden agendas. She meets me with understanding. The bride's parents hosted a small pre-wedding dinner for close relatives. Sam was invited, as was Dana, to show some sense of unity. Sam felt a roil of discomfort driving there, but resolved to keep it mild for Marcus's sake. The dinner took place at a quaint backyard under twinkling string lights. Everyone sipped iced tea, nibbling on finger foods. Dana arrived alone, wearing a pale dress that hung a bit loosely, hinting she'd lost weight. She lingered near the edges, seemingly uncertain. Marcus introduced Sam to the bride's father, who was polite, though Sam sensed some tension likely from all the gossip. Nonetheless, Sam projected a dignified air, a man at peace with the outcome. He'd show them no drama here. At one point, Dana drifted over. They stood awkwardly by the refreshment table, a swirl of unspoken tension. She spoke in a soft tone, avoiding eye contact. Sam, thanks for agreeing to do the short aisle walk. Marcus was anxious about it. He nodded curtly. I'm doing it for him. Dana swallowed. I know. I appreciate it. I won't cause a scene, he simply said. Good, and turned away to greet others, leaving her gaze trailing after him. In that small exchange, Sam felt both pity and final closure. No more illusions. Rumors swirled that Elliot had accepted a plea deal to reduce charges. A local news flash reported he would serve some jail time, plus pay fines. Sam read the short article, a wave of satisfaction washing over him. Justice. He heard that Elliot and Dana had parted ways completely, let them each face their own demons. Willow dropped by later with a grin. Dad, you see the news about Stryker? The guy's basically done in politics. Sam shrugged. I'm not one to celebrate another man's downfall, but let's say I'm not shedding tears. He reaped what he sowed. Willow smirked. Well, we can quietly raise a glass, right? Sam allowed a tight smile. Perhaps. Then we move on. One evening, Sam stopped at a grocery store to pick up a few essentials. He turned an aisle corner and nearly collided with Dana. She froze, a can of soup in her hand, eyes wide. Sam steadied himself. Again? Oh, sorry, she whispered. I didn't see you coming. He nodded, voice stiff. No problem. They stood for a beat in awkward silence. She fiddled with the can. How are you? I'm fine, he answered plainly. You? Dana's eyes darted. Managing. Life is well, simpler. But I'm okay. She swallowed, then forced a half smile. Heard about Marcus's final wedding plans. Guess we'll be walking together soon? Sam exhaled, nodding. Yes, for a brief moment. Let's keep it calm. She set the soup in her cart. "Don't worry, I won't cause trouble. I know we can't fix anything. But I want Marcus's day to be peaceful." "So do I," Sam said, then offered a curt goodbye. As they parted, he felt a strange relief that no bitterness flared. They were like distant acquaintances forced to share a few polite words. That's probably the best outcome possible. A few days before the wedding, Sam attended the rehearsal. The small garden at a local event space was decorated with floral arrangements, an arch of roses near the front. The bride's parents fussed over final touches. The wedding party included Willow as a groomsman. Sam approached the bride, giving her a gentle smile. She thanked him for cooperating. Then the officiant directed them for the aisle walk. The bride would come in with her father. Marcus would be escorted by both parents for about 10 yards. Sam would hold one arm while Dana held the other. They'd stop halfway, letting the bride's father pass the bride. Then Sam and Dana would step aside, letting Marcus stand alone up front. Practicing it felt surreal. Sam found himself standing next to Dana, physically touching her arm lightly. He suppressed a shudder at the memory of how that closeness once meant love, now replaced by a void. The officiant instructed them to walk, and they did, exchanging 0 words. At the halfway mark, they parted. Marcus gave a grateful nod. "That's it," the officiant declared. "On the big day, we do the same with music, of course." Marcus murmured quietly to Sam after the run-through. "Thank you. I know it's awkward, but it means a lot." Sam nodded. "Anything for you, son?" Dana remained silent, eyes downcast. Sam tried not to dwell on it. The wedding belonged to Marcus and his bride, not old resentments. The day dawned bright, a crisp breeze under a clear autumn sky. Sam donned a charcoal suit, standing out in the garden with Willow by his side. Music from a small string quartet drifted through the air. The guests, maybe 70 or so, took seats in neat rows. The bride's side hush-chatted about the divorced parents. But Sam ignored it. When the ceremony began, Sam and Dana took their places. He offered her a polite arm, as tradition required. Her hand felt trembling. They stepped forward in sync, guiding Marcus up the short aisle. Sam kept his gaze forward, focusing on supporting his son. They paused halfway. Marcus pressed Sam's hand in thanks. Then Sam slipped away to the side, releasing Dana's arm. She retreated in the opposite direction. The bride entered next, radiant in her gown. The moment was sweet, untainted by drama. Mission accomplished. Sam sat in the front row, Willow beside him. The vows were heartfelt. The bride's father gave a teary speech. Sam felt a lump in his own throat seeing his son's obvious happiness. Despite all, a new generation finds joy. After they exchanged rings and the officiant pronounced them married, applause and cheers filled the garden. Sam clapped vigorously. He caught Dana wiping tears across the aisle, but he refused to linger on her expression. She'd made her path. I hope Marcus's marriage remains a better fate than ours. The reception was a modest lunch under a white tent. Marcus pulled Sam aside at some point, quietly insisting he pose for a family photo. Sam bristled at the notion of including Dana, but for Marcus, he complied. So the photographer arranged them. Marcus in the middle, bride at his side, Sam on one side, Dana on the other. They snapped a few pictures. Sam kept a neutral face. Then he excused himself swiftly, letting them take Motherson pictures. At the reception's end, Sam briefly approached Dana, purely for Marcus's sake. He said a subdued, "Take care," as they parted. She whispered, "You too," voice thick with emotion. No further words. It was, in a way, an unspoken, final closure. We coexisted for our son's milestone. That's all that remains. That night, Sam retreated home, changed out of his suit, feeling emotionally exhausted. Cynthia visited, bringing a homemade casserole. She found him sitting on the porch, gaze distant. "How was the wedding?" she asked softly, setting the casserole down. He exhaled. "It went well. We did the aisle walk. No drama. They're happy." "That's what matters." Cynthia slipped an arm around him, leaning her head on his shoulder. "I'm proud of you for facing it." Sam's chest felt lighter, a sense of a final chapter closed. "I guess this was the last big confrontation with my past. Now I can truly move on. And with you here, I realize I'm not alone." She smiled, eyes shining. "You never have to be alone unless you choose it, Sam." They fell into a comfortable silence, the night sky overhead. He entwined his fingers with hers. The world felt stable. The ghosts of betrayal no longer haunted him, overshadowed by genuine warmth, real acceptance. He was free, at last, to shape the life he wanted. Chapter 12. As the following months rolled on, Sam found a sense of normalcy he hadn't felt in years. The divorce was a distant memory now. He rarely heard from Dana, who remained quiet, living her own existence. Elliot's trial was slated for the coming year, but Sam considered that fiasco none of his concern. Let him face the music. Willow thrived in his new role as a junior officer, sometimes accompanying Sam on patrol if shifts aligned. Their bond was unshakable. Marcus visited sporadically, happily married, enjoying a fledgling business venture. Sam welcomed them with a warm smile, all grudges set aside. Cynthia became a steady presence. They didn't rush into cohabitation, but she stayed over frequently. Her gentle humor and unwavering compassion reminded Sam that love could be kind, not destructive. He took her on leisurely trips, short hikes, quiet dinners. She introduced him to her circle of friends, who teased Sam good-naturedly about taming the stoic sheriff. At the station, Sam championed more robust community outreach programs. He set up a mentorship for at-risk teens, drawing on personal lessons from his own family's ordeal. How betrayal and lies can fracture trust. He believed if young people learned honesty and resilience early, tragedies might be averted. Deputy Martha, now a senior staffer, praised Sam's leadership. "You've turned the station into a real pillar for the community, Sheriff. People see you not just as an enforcer but as a guide, especially after your personal storms." Sam appreciated that. He'd once feared the divorce scandal might tarnish his record. Instead, the public respected how he'd handled adversity firm, direct, without exploiting his badge. That's the best outcome I could hope for. Willow had a formal police academy completion of advanced training ceremony. Sam hosted a small backyard barbecue in celebration, inviting colleagues, Willow's classmates, Marcus, and some friends. Cynthia helped set up the grill, organizing bowls of potato salad and fruit trays. The yard bustled with chatter, smoke from the grill curling skyward. Marcus laughed with Willow over old jokes. Sam felt a deep contentment. This is the family unity I wanted, not the old dream with Dana, but a new tapestry of closeness that felt more authentic. Later, Willow stood up on a small step to propose a toast. "I just want to thank Dad for always being there, guiding me. Despite everything that happened, he never wavered in supporting me. And thanks to Cynthia for making Dad smile again. Cheers." A round of applause followed, Sam's cheeks reddening. He raised his soda can. "To Willow and to a bright future." In the midst of the gathering, Sam spotted Karen, Dana's old friend, slipping in with a covered dish. She approached Sam quietly. "I heard about this from Willow. I just wanted to drop by. No drama, I promise." Sam gave a measured nod. "You're welcome, Karen. Good to see you." Karen handed him the dish. "Green bean casserole. And look, I only want to say Dana's out of your life, but she's not doing great. She's lonely, regrets everything. She asked me to pass that along if I saw you." Sam's mouth tightened. "Thank you for telling me, but that chapter's closed. I hope she finds peace, but I can't fix her regrets." Karen sighed. "I understand. I guess that's all." She patted his arm. "I'm glad you're doing well, Sam." Then she blended into the crowd, chatting politely. Sam frowned, a swirl of pity for Dana quickly pushed aside. "I can't dwell on her choices. I have my own happiness to nurture." Days turned to weeks. One crisp morning, Sam woke from a vivid dream. He'd been driving a long, scenic highway with Cynthia beside him, the windows down, endless possibilities ahead. The dream left him with a sweet ache for new horizons. Over coffee, he found himself considering future steps, maybe traveling. He'd never seen the Grand Canyon or the East Coast. He also toyed with the idea of stepping up in local politics. There were murmurs about him possibly running for a higher county position or even state-level office. People admired him. But Sam hesitated, recalling how politics can breed corruption, as with Elliot. Still, I might do more good from a legislative angle. He confided in Cynthia one evening. "What if I run for county commissioner next term, or a state legislative seat? I want to fix bigger systems." She grinned. "I think you'd be great. You're honest, driven by fairness. But only do it if you're ready for the political game. We both know how messy that can get." Sam nodded. "I'll think on it. For now, I'm content being sheriff. But who knows?" A short letter arrived at Sam's door, postmarked from a neighboring town. Inside was a simple paragraph. "Sam, I want you to know I've found a small job renting a tiny place. I'm not asking for anything. Just wanted you to know I'm okay. And I'm sorry if my meltdown at the wedding caused any discomfort." You looked genuinely happy for Marcus. That meant a lot to him. He told me so. Dana Sam read it twice, folded it. He felt no urge to reply, but a final sense of closure settled in. She's alive, coping, acknowledging my role in Marcus's day. That's enough. He placed the letter in the same box as her old apology note, letting it rest among intangible memories. We're truly done. This is the final page. He eventually took that short road trip with Cynthia, a 4-day weekend to the redwood forests up north. Driving along winding roads lined with towering ancient trees, Sam felt a reverence for nature's timelessness. They stayed in a cozy lodge, woke early to hike under massive trunks. Cynthia teased Sam about his sheriff instincts whenever a branch snapped behind them. He'd grin and retort that he never truly turns off his vigilance. But with her, he managed to relax more than he had in years. One afternoon, they stood in a clearing, sunbeams falling through the canopy. The hush of the forest enveloped them. Cynthia slipped an arm around him, whispering, "I'm so glad you let me in." Sam pressed a light kiss to her hair. "Thank you for being patient." That moment felt like a sign of how far he'd come. The man once consumed by bitterness now embraced gentle wonder in nature, held by a woman who valued him wholly. Perhaps I can love again. Properly this time. Returning from the Redwood trip, Sam found a letter from a local citizens group urging him to run for county supervisor in the next election cycle. They cited his integrity, leadership, and unwavering moral stance, referencing how he handled personal adversity without compromising his duties. The thought fluttered in Sam's mind. Could this be my next step? He shared it with Willow, who grinned. "Dad, you'd have my vote. But do you want the political heat again?" Sam chuckled. "I'd prefer less drama, but maybe I can bring real changes. Let me talk to a few folks. If it's too messy, I'll pass." For the first time in a long while, Sam's future felt wide open, not mired in old heartbreak. I can set my own path. Willow continued thriving as a deputy, receiving commendations for community involvement. He teased Sam about overshadowing him if Sam ran for office. Sam promised to give Willow an even bigger spotlight in youth mentorship. They laughed about father-son synergy in law enforcement, forging a new legacy that overshadowed the old scandal. Marcus and his bride settled into married life. He visited Sam occasionally, stepping more comfortably into father-son banter. The old chill melted away, replaced by mutual respect. Marcus no longer asked about Dana. Sam didn't pry either. They found contentment in the present, letting the past rest. With the Redwood trip behind him, the final wedding turmoil resolved, and Dana's last messages read and stored, Sam finally stood at the cusp of genuine peace. The house was truly his sanctuary, filled with fresh memories like Cynthia's laughter echoing in the kitchen, Willow's visits with cop stories, Marcus's relaxed smiles. The once haunting hush was now a comforting hush. He walked onto his porch one late night, the moon-high, crisp air caressing his skin. A sense of completion washed over him. The betrayal, the court battles, the heartbreak had shaped him but not destroyed him. He was stronger, more compassionate, ready to serve Hillside County without personal burdens overshadowing his mission. Cynthia's voice drifted from inside. "Sam, I found that old record you mentioned. Want to listen?" He turned, a genuine smile forming. "Absolutely. Let's enjoy it." And with that, he stepped back into his home, leaving the porch to the silent stars. He was no longer trapped in old regrets. He'd chosen life, love, and forward motion. Chapter 12. Several weeks later, a bright new morning found Sam waking earlier than usual. He'd begun a light jogging routine, something he'd never done in the midst of marital stress. Now, lacing up running shoes, he trotted through the quiet residential streets, greeting neighbors who waved from porches. The crisp air filled his lungs with possibility. I'm unstoppable when I let myself breathe. Back home, he showered, then checked messages. A letter from the county political committee arrived, inviting him to a meet and greet as a potential candidate for county supervisor. Sam sipped coffee, remembering how he used to despise political nonsense. But times changed. If he could make real reforms from a bigger seat, why not? One mild afternoon, Cynthia knocked on Sam's door with a surprise. Her parents were in town wanting to meet him. Sam's stomach flipped. Meeting her parents is big. They all settled around the living room, chatting. Her father, a retired teacher, asked Sam about policing policies, impressed by Sam's emphasis on community outreach. Her mother, an avid gardener, complimented the potted plants around the house, which Cynthia had helped pick. At the end of the visit, her father shook Sam's hand warmly. "We've heard about your trials, Sheriff, but we see how you overcame them with dignity. We're glad our daughter has found someone who respects her." Sam felt a flicker of pride. They accept me. As they left, Cynthia caught his eye, the unspoken message clear. We're getting serious. He welcomed that realization. I can see a stable future with her. A day later, Marcus called asking to drop by alone. Sam agreed, curious. They sat on the back porch, the afternoon sun filtering through the newly pruned trees. Marcus looked pensive. "Dad, I owe you more than a casual apology. I was an ass for months, siding blindly with Mom, ignoring your pain. I'm sorry." Sam studied his son's face. "We've come a long way since then, but I appreciate your words." Marcus exhaled. "I see now that you were strong, not cruel. Mom, well, she messed up. I get that. I also know you had to be ruthless in court, but you had cause. I just wanted to say, I'm proud of how you stood firm, never stooped to pettiness." A warmth bloomed in Sam's chest. "That means a lot, son. Thank you." They shared a hug, the last remnants of tension dissolving. Marcus even teased Sam about a new fatherly glow, suggesting Sam must be seeing someone. Sam chuckled and admitted he was dating Cynthia. Marcus grinned. "That's good. You deserve happiness." Sam rarely used social media, but Willow convinced him to create a public page for potential political outreach. Sam posted a single introduction. Sheriff Sam Halston, committed to community safety and progress. The response was surprisingly positive. Hundreds of locals liked or commented supportive messages. Some praised his calm leadership during the divorce fiasco, viewing it as a testament to his character. Natalie even texted him, "You're turning adversity into an asset. The county might want you in office, Sam." He weighed the idea with growing interest. "Maybe a year from now, I'll run." Word spread that Elliott, indicted on multiple counts, was likely headed to a plea bargain. Court documents implied he'd serve prison time. Some local pundits pinned blame on his arrogance and the lack of real moral compass. Sam's name occasionally popped up in the commentary, but Sam refused interviews, focusing on local policing instead. One day, while scanning a news feed, Sam spotted a headline. "Elliott Stryker pleads guilty, sentenced to 3 years." The short article confirmed that Elliott admitted to wire fraud, hush money payments, and related financial crimes. Sam closed the tab with a final sense of closure. He's gone from the council, from influence, from my life. Sensing Sam's new optimism, Cynthia suggested a spontaneous day trip to the coast just 2 hours away. They hopped in Sam's SUV, a cooler of sandwiches in the back. The drive was filled with music and playful conversation. Each passing mile reminded Sam how life could be simple and joyful without drama, overshadowing every breath. They reached the shoreline, walked barefoot along the sandy expanse, letting the crashing waves fill the silence. Cynthia picked up shells. Sam teased her about them being all the same, but she insisted each was unique. He eventually joined her, pockets filling with small conchs and scallops. When they paused to watch the sunset, she slipped an arm around his waist, sighing happily. "You seem freer these days, Sam," she said, eyes reflecting the orange glow on the horizon. He pressed a gentle kiss to her temple. "Because I am. This is everything I need right now." A swirl of tender emotion wove between them, unspoken yet strong. Sam realized he was truly moving on, forging a new connection built on honesty. Months ticked by, the swirl of daily policing steady. Sam found himself delegating more administrative tasks, trusting Willow and Deputy Martha for day-to-day field decisions. He toyed with the idea of stepping aside from the role of sheriff eventually, especially if he ran for county supervisor. The station functioned well, and Sam felt a tug to try a broader governance scope if the time was right. At a casual county gathering, a few local leaders dropped hints. "Sheriff Halston, you'd have a strong shot in next year's election. People respect you." He modestly deflected, but the seed was planted firmly. One weekend, Sam invited both Willow and Marcus, plus Marcus's wife, to a home-cooked dinner. Cynthia joined in, helping Sam prepare a roast with mashed potatoes. The small gathering bustled with light-hearted banter, no overshadowing gloom. They teased Sam about his cooking skills, and he shot back that Cynthia was the real chef. He was just the sous chef. Over dessert, Marcus recounted how the bride's father initially worried about the tension in the family, but was now relieved everything ended peacefully. Willow chimed in about some comedic moment at the station. Cynthia laughed along. Sam observed his adult children, feeling pride and gratitude. The house, once burdened by secrets, now echoed with genuine laughter. At the end of the evening, as everyone parted, Marcus told Sam quietly, "This feels right. A new era." Sam smiled, replying, "Yes, it does." Fate arranged one final random sighting. Sam was driving through downtown when he spotted Dana exiting a bus, carrying groceries in a battered tote. She looked tired but not desperate. She paused, noticing Sam's SUV. Their eyes met across the street. For a moment, Sam contemplated offering a ride but quickly dismissed the notion. "We said our final goodbyes. Let her be." He gave a small nod of acknowledgement, and she offered a faint wave. No words needed. Then she turned away, continuing on foot. Sam drove off. He felt no pang of regret, only acceptance that their paths had diverged for good. She seems to be managing her life. That's enough. Time marched forward. Sam stood on his porch at dusk, the sky awash in purple and gold. A gentle breeze stirred the leaves. Inside, he heard Cynthia's soft humming as she prepared coffee. He'd come a long way from the night he discovered Dana and Elliot. The bitterness, the court battles, the heartbreak those events shaped him but did not shackle him. Now he had a budding relationship built on trust, supportive adult children, a thriving career with potential new horizons. He'd lost illusions but gained clarity. The quiet hush in the house was comforting, not haunting. Willow was forging his own police legacy. Marcus was happily married, no longer weighed by parental strife. Dana existed somewhere beyond Sam's sphere, seemingly contrite. But that was her journey. Elliot, indicted and serving time, was no longer a threat. Sam harbored no more grudges, content letting the man face his own downfall. And Sam himself? He had a calm heart, a strong sense of self, and an open door to possibilities. He'd discovered that betrayal couldn't define him. His reaction, his resilience, that defined him more. In the gentle twilight, he set aside thoughts of the past, focusing on the promise of the future. Cynthia stepped onto the porch, 2 steaming mugs in hand. "Hey, you," she said, leaning her head on his shoulder. "Everything okay?" He slipped an arm around her waist, gazing out at the setting sun. "Yeah," he murmured. "Everything's good. Better than good." A new day would come tomorrow, and Sam Halston stood ready, free from the witch's curse of betrayal, standing tall with hope and love guiding his path. He inhaled the evening air fresh, full of promise, and in that quiet, unwavering moment, Sam allowed himself the joy of living a life reclaimed. Epilogue. Sam Halston's journey from devastation to quiet triumph showcases how betrayal needn't break a person's spirit. His unwavering stance in court, dedication to justice, and careful opening of his heart again led him to build a stronger, more honest life. While Dana faced the consequences of her choices and Elliot sank into legal ruin, Sam found renewal in fatherhood, romance, and public service. This final part closes the loop on all major threads: Dana's regretful solitude, Elliot's criminal downfall, Willow's growth in law enforcement, Marcus's stable marriage, Sam's potential political future, and abiding romance with Cynthia. Ultimately, Sam stands as a testament that the strongest revenge is living well free, respected, and at peace with one's conscience.